Holy cow, he's already a better passer than Jalen Hurts. Good football Friday to you guys. Appreciate you coming aboard. Hit that like button. Super chats go to the top. You see that boy flinging that thing? Oh, Carson Beck, man. He was flinging that rock last night at the Hall of Fame game. Boom, boom, across the middle of the field. Throwing dimes. Just bang, bang, bang. I was like, look at that kid go, man. Guy's on a crappy-ass organization, and he's just throwing dimes. Bang, bang. What a dime thrower last night. You don't see any, and by the way, he was a progression thrower. He went like this, like his head was on a swivel. 1 read, 2 read, 3 read, back to 4, bang, 3, 1, 2, check down. You see that? That was impressive. Unbelievable. Swab, this is the way you always start our program off, and we thank you very much. Thank you again on this Football Friday. Yeah, man, great news. Lane Johnson is back. Congratulations. And I agreed with what Nick said today at the presser. We'll talk more about that. Look, you're not worried about that guy missing camp. As a matter of fact, you kind of are like this right now. Listen, you know, the least amount of camp that guy gets, the better, because you're looking for Lane Johnson to be on that football roster at the back end of the roster, or excuse me, at the back end of the schedule, than you are on the front end. And you're going to need that guy if you're going to make a stretch run at the end of the season. So good to see him back on the field. Unfortunately, no Devontae, and unfortunately, no Mekhi Lemon. Hit that like button. We will have, of course, on our Friday, Mike North will join us at 4:30. We will have Philly Godfather, and, of course, Big Z will join us at 3:30. All right. It was great to see football back on the tube last night. Loved it. And as I said, I really did. All kidding aside, I thought Carson Beck looked pretty good. I did. And I thought he looked pretty good, but we'll see what happens. And if I were them, I would start that kid right away. Jacoby Brissett? Yeah, sure. Dude, you're not going anywhere with that guy. Start your future now. Get him in there. Get him acclimated, man. You might have something. Let's not forget where Dak was found. Let's not forget where Hurts was found. Let's not forget where some of the best quarterbacks in the history of the National Football League. You don't have to be a first rounder to be an all-time great. And I'm not saying he is, and I'm not saying he's going to be. At least you know who Jacoby Brissett is. Get that kid's ass out there. Start his ass. And see what you got. So, again, it's been a telling week. It's been a telling week for the Eagles. The storylines are pretty crazy. And they're all over the place. So let me ask you flat out here on this Football Friday. What's the identity of the Eagles rolling into this season? Are you going to be a run game? Oriented football team? Are you going to be a spread offense? What's your identity? Usually, the identity of that football team is we're going to ground it out, we're going to play tight defense, and we're going to beat your ass at the point of attack. I'm not sure that's what this is. So, what's your identity heading into camp? And then heading into the regular season? So, you're a defensive football team? Okay, wait. So, what's your offensive identity? Especially with all those veteran guys you have on your offense. What's your identity? Don't tell me, get this, win the game, figure it out. Okay, so when you go into something, you don't know who you are yet. Okay, nice job, RC. Talk about going into a blind situation. RC doesn't even know what your football team's identity is yet. I know what the Rams are. I know what the Niners want to do. I know what Green Bay wants. I know what Chicago wants to do. I know what all those teams want to do. I know what Kansas City's trying to do. What are you trying to do? Do you know what you're going to do in the upcoming season? Run Saquon into the ground. Okay. That's not a poor strategy. That's not. That is not a poor strategy. I don't know, haven't seen a game yet to know what they want to do with the new offense. Nobody's a fortune teller. Did you really think you needed to be a fortune teller last year or what they needed to do? Or did you really need to be a fortune teller on what the identity of the football team is if you're investing in the offensive lines like you have all these decades, especially under the Lurie era? You don't know what you're trying to do? Really? That's a stupid take. Ray Didinger is a Jalenite. He's confident that Hurts will excel in this scheme. The reason Hurts hasn't thrown it to the middle, he said, was the offense never required him to. Your thoughts, Sil? That's a dumb take. So of all the quarterbacks that play in the National Football League, he's the only one in the NFL that's not been required to throw across the middle of the field. I mean, think about it. He's the only guy in the NFL not to be required to throw across the middle because the coaching staff for 5 years said, hey, guess what? We don't need him to do that. That's coaching? Can you imagine Nick Sirianni telling Phillip Rivers, hey, Phillip, don't throw across the middle of the field. It's high risk. I don't want you to throw across the middle of the field because I'm afraid you're going to turn the football over. Phillip Rivers would look at Nick Sirianni and go, what? Come again? Can you imagine telling any NFL high-volume passer or any big-time quarterback in NFL history, hey, I'm afraid for you to throw across the middle of the field, so we're not going to, and we're not going to require you to. How dumb can you be, man? He's the only quarterback of all the 32 quarterbacks in the NFL that's been required not to throw across the middle because the offensive coaches are the ones holding him back. And yet, they're 50-18 with their way of thinking. Something's not right. Either Nick's right in how he coached Jalen, or he held the guy back. We're going to find out. So far, Nick's been proven right in how he's coached. Did you ever think of that? And this goes down, and this is something that goes to Zander's line of Nick. Nick Sirianni coached Jalen Hurts the way he thought he needed to win games. And he did. Okay? But not requiring him to throw across the middle of the field has resulted in 2 NFC titles and a Super Bowl and never missing the playoffs. So is Nick wrong for not throwing it across the middle of the field? Not by the 1-loss record. Can't wait to see Cole, Steve Young, Peyton sling the rock in preseason. You'll like him, Sills. I know you'll be there to witness it. Who? Oh, that kid Cole Peyton, sure. Another North Dakota State guy who throws against beer drinkers up in that league up there. Okay. I can't wait to see it. Here, let's go to Reyes here because I'm sure it's stupid. Throw over the box and guess who leads the league in deep passes? Who gives a shit? Deep passes don't win Super Bowls. And by the way, Nick Sirianni coaching Jalen Hurts the way he's coached him the last 5 years, he's been right not to throw across the middle of the field. He's been right. Hurts has the attack mentality. He does? It looks like he's rejuvenated. He is definitely lasered in. I think it's all encouraging for the Eagles. That's what you heard this week? Wow. Here, let me start it out here. You think you've seen the best of Hurts? Do you think you've seen the best of Jalen Hurts? What's next? What, do you think he's going to elevate into some sort of 5,000-yard passer? Seals, instead of glazed donuts, it should be butt chuggers. He could be better in reading defenses. So in his 7th year, he's going to get better at reading. Well, Michael Vick did. That's not terrible. Well, if the best is yet to come, how come they didn't give him a contract extension? Another ring? Well, how come they didn't? If they're so confident he's going to win another ring, how come they haven't given him an extension? Seals will always choose the opposite side. No, I choose the obvious side in what they're doing, not hoping. You're hoping. I'm talking about how they coached him for 5 years and where he is now. And with no money on the table next year, none of your things that you said make sense. Think about it. If they really thought the best is yet to come, why wouldn't they have given him an extension like they gave Jalen Carter? They think Jalen Carter, the best is yet to come. And by the way, this guy's making $10 million less, so it can't be the money. He's making $38 million. Hurts makes $12 million more. This guy's a defensive tackle. I mean, end of the day, if the best is yet to come, why aren't they invested in it? Notice how the Patriot fans will be hoping the best for Diggs this year, aren't bitter. The Eagle fans with AJ, Patriot forever. Dude, AJ's having a spectacular camp, and according to people that are covering that up there, AJ's the best offensive player on the field. Do you ask the fans listening, do you think of what the Eagles think while balancing the business time aspect of it? Not sure what you mean, Slagger. Expand, please. Jordan didn't win his first championship until year 8. Correct. That's right. Oh, and by the way, you know how a guy like this, every time you bring up Josh Allen, what's the difference between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes? This goes to what Jalen has had the last 6 years. What's the difference? Different NFL, dude. That's 40 years ago. You're close, Rasputin. Rasputin, we'll go to you. Does Mahomes have the better coach? Does Mahomes have the better coach than Josh Allen? Yes or no? Okay. Rasputin, does Mahomes have the better general manager in Brett Veach than Brandon Beane? Yes or no? It's not excuses. You make lists for quarterbacks? It's not excuses. How can the truth be excuses? Wait a second. You're saying that a guy with 3 Super Bowl rings versus a guy who hasn't done crap in Buffalo are on the equal playing field? Really? Well, let's ask the last one. Who has a better owner? Clark Hunt, the owner of the Chiefs, or Pagula, the owner of the Buffalo Bills? Patrick Mahomes has the better GM, the better head coach, and the better owner. That lies the difference. Jalen Hurts is in a great organization with a spectacular GM. There lies the difference between Allen and Mahomes. Wide receiver Brandon Ayuk is not currently eligible to play in the NFL because the 49ers put him in left team list. He will have to send a letter and a written letter to Roger Goodell to get a request to be able to be reinstated. Yeah, I don't know the parameters of that. Problem with that is Pat objectively evaluated his play while Josh has instances of his play directly correlated to losses. That's not a terrible take. Sills, let me say this to you. See this here? If Jalen Hurts was on the Jets, he'd be Sam Darnold. Jets, Sam Darnold. Can't get away from it. That's not an excuse. That's a fact. Seals, Howie told Kay Adams he isn't worried about Lemon. He compared it to Cooper missing his rookie camp. I think that's BS. What do you think? I think it's total BS. But Kai Lemon is not going to have the impact that Cooper DeJean has. No chance in hell. Even when he was healthy, he's not. That's not Devontae Smith coming out of college. But we'll see. I know most of you Eagle fans think that guy's going to have 950 yards this year. Never happened. That guy will be lucky to be the third wideout. I bet you if the Eagles had Allen or Mahomes, they would never be using void years to try to win. I don't know. I think Howie, not going to question anything Howie does in building a football team. Hey, I'm going to say this to you with that topic that we brought up. Have you seen the best of Jalen Hurts? Seals, when I look at the Cardinals, they don't have a problem putting points on the board. It's stopping teams. They have talent on offense. Yeah, they got to put a defense on that field too. And they got to build their O-line up a little bit more. If Hurts makes a 180 change in this new offense, he would be considered anomaly. How often has that happened in the past? Never. Like never. Have you seen the best of Jalen Hurts? You guys are so quick to say that A.J. Brown has lost his step. Well, is Jalen? Let's use your A.J. line. Doesn't run. He doesn't play like he did in the past when he first got that $255 million contract. Why wouldn't you say he's lost a step? He surely has lost a step from a year ago. Oh, wait. That's the O-line in Petulo, right? And Jeff Stoutland. Isn't that an excuse, RC? Isn't that excuses? So let's use your mentality. If that's excuses for Mahomes and for Allen on who's got the better people, let's use the excuses then on what we're talking about, whether or not Jalen, you've seen the best of him. I think Lamar has. Once again, Sills was criticizing Cooper DeJean until he saw him play. No problem, dude. You're right. How about, no. I was wrong. I've already said this. Stop moving the goalpost? No. You're trying to make people think I didn't say what I said. Here's exactly what I said, folks. DeJean turned out to be a great player. And there's no question he turned out to be a great player. And even the NFL was wrong because they took him in the second round. I'm not the only one who thought. If they thought he was so great, they'd have taken him in the first round. And other teams would have taken him. I wasn't wrong. Like every other NFL executive on draft day. So, Prince, tell the full story. He went in the second round for a reason. People thought he was a good player. They didn't think he was first-round talent because he went in the second round. Now, he has turned out. He's my favorite player. I don't see that with Lemon. And guess what? We'll see. I'll tell you what. He's the most unimpressive wideout you have in camp right now. In the first 2 weeks of camp, he's the most unimpressive wide receiver in camp. Can't stay healthy and is very unimpressive so far. Is that an indictment on his career? No. That's an indictment on where his feet are right now. You were wrong. He was a first-round pick, but Mitchell fell in our lap. No. Cooper DeJean was a second-round pick. 31 other teams had a chance to draft them and him in the first round if those other teams thought he was a first-round talent. They didn't. Seals, the only thing left for Hurts to accomplish is win a regular season MVP. So in theory, no, he didn't reach his ceiling. That guy winning his regular season MVP, that's why I asked you his best days behind him. That ain't happening. That's not MVP talent right now, the last 3 years. I'm sorry. I don't see an MVP football talent playing on a consistent basis for 6 months. Jalen finished in the bottom half of the league in passing 3 times with arguably the best receiving duo in the league. I can't bring myself to see any upward trajectory with the lesser cast. That's a perfect take. In 2 weeks. Okay? By the way, I think it's encouraging to hear there's more words coming out of Eagle camp on the offense. And we'll see. And by the way, you're not going to use the exhibition season to ready yourselves. You're going to use the first month of the season to ready yourselves. With only 2 practices, I'd say so. He better get them soft tissue injuries under control or he'll be riding the pine like Stowers. He had a great number 2 and a mediocre number 1. Who are you talking about? Get this. That's right. That's a great take by my friend here who brought that up. Hurts had maybe the best wide receiving duo in pro football, and he finished in the bottom of the league like 3 of the 5 years. Crazy. Look at this. A.J. Brown was an average receiver last year. In what world did Jalen have the best duo in the league last year? You had 2 1,000-yard wide receivers last year, and you still finished at the bottom of the league. Hey, look at Paul here saying that Brown's not a top 10 wide receiver. Jesus, criminy guy. You are just an excuse machine. Holy cow. You talk about riding it. Bro. Like, when you talk about Hurts, do you walk around on your knees and bars to your buddy? I'd say he isn't going to be an MVP, but I think because he overachieved in his career for this talent, what he gives us is gravy. I don't believe he'll need to be elite to win. He doesn't have to be elite to win. He just needs to be consistent. Correct. It's time to throw away that high school playbook. That high school playbook brought 2 NFC titles in all the wins that you've had in the greatest era of football in Eagle history, in the Super Bowl era. That's what that high school playbook brought you. If that isn't an indictment of the scheme, I don't know what is. We had a diva-ass player that would literally give up on plays when the ball didn't go his way and drop the ball when asked for more targets. The guy had the 3rd least target drops last year in pro football. That is without a doubt. He's taking 1 game. 1 game. Look at the percentage drops a year ago. Devontae Smith was 17th in the league in drops. Sills, was the offense ranked last in 22? I think it was ranked maybe 8th. And at 23, I think they were ranked 16th with those same players. Content matters. We focus on the low to push a narrative, but forget the high when it shows you otherwise. The only reason that it changed was because of the running game. The only reason that your offense wasn't last every year of Hurts' career is because of the running game, not because of the passing game. Are you under the impression that if your running game was like bottom half of the league, your offense would be last? That's context. That's why I asked you what your identity is. I don't know what my identity is. August 7th, 36 days to the start of the season. You don't know what your identity or have an idea what it's going to be. I don't know why people bother commenting. Sills already called this season a wash, and our receivers and quarterback are trash. People keep coming back for more. Can't look away. Wisco, we're about to find out who's right. And I didn't say your quarterback's trash. I said he's okay. I think he's a good player. He's not elite. And without elite players around a guy, you're seeing the offense go the other way. I saw it a year ago. Offensive line had issues. Receiver wasn't engaged. And the offense never, ever elevated because the quarterback couldn't elevate him. That's what the question is. Have you seen the best of Hurts? Hurts couldn't elevate. What happened a year ago? Oh, let me guess. He couldn't elevate above a shitty offensive coordinator, okay? Jeff Stoutland was horrible. A.J. Brown was horrible. You talk about making excuses. That's why I brought the Mahomes and Allen thing up. You want to see what people do with narratives? I told you the difference between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen is head coach, general manager, and owner. To you, that's excuses. Here's your excuses. Kevin Patullo, Jeff Stoutland, and like Reyes says, A.J. Brown not being engaged in dropping footballs. Those are excuses. How can you use the same formula that I bring up with Allen and Mahomes and call those excuses? But then when we turn around and place those same narratives on Hurts, you guys come back and say, wait a minute, it's those guys and not Hurts. How are you doing that? Like, it fits those guys, but not our guy. Is that what you're saying? Listen to yourselves. Hey, I thought Carson looked good. We'll see what he does, and we'll see if he can win that gig. I told you, Sills, Eagle fans are hypocrites. They are. That's an excuse for Allen. It's why we went there. But you use Patullo. Look at Reyes. Patullo. A.J. Brown dropping footballs, not engaged. And Jeff Stoutland sucked. That's not excuses? It's classic. Best of Hurts is tough because we don't know if they avoid the middle of the field or have no motion because the coach is not believing in him, or if it's his doing. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair take, dude. Get this. But to act like he's some Haas, you don't have to be exceptional to get to a Super Bowl. But to act like he's an average player because he doesn't have high passing stats is asinine. To act like that guy's some sort of pocket passer is asinine. And that you're going to win from the pocket if he doesn't run is asinine. Jalen Hurts' assets are his ability to run and pass at the same time. Not as a passer. He didn't almost become an MVP because he was a pocket passer. Every single day in the world is subject to criticism. So are the coaches, correct. But the minute they prove criticism wrong, The same people must own up and not try to pretend they didn't critique. Hurts will change his entire 5-year play style in 4 months to become the greatest anomaly in NFL history. Yeah, fucking right. New York Jets quarterback in 27. How you doing? He never lost his step. It took in 23. I don't disagree with Sills much, but it's hilarious that fans from other teams come here to watch him rip our team for 4 hours. Not ripping your team, dude. I'm trying. Okay, I will rip your team for getting away with that kid is. Yes, I'm ripping you for not coaching the guy to his style. You bet. Yes. Yes. You bet I am. And you should too. Dude, the number one thing in life is to make people around you better by going to their skill set, not running away from it. Feels I like Jalen, like everyone else, but it's okay to say he had a bad season and needs to bounce back. Look at Lamar and Mahomes. It's okay to say those guys had shitty years. Absolutely. Again, Donnell, guys like this here think because you win a Super Bowl, like Sam Darnold's not up for criticism, or Mahomes isn't up for it. What are you, crazy? It's the National Football League, guy. The closest comparison in modern NFL history is Russell Wilson. You're going to tell me Wilson was average during his time in Seattle? Yeah. After Marshawn Lynch left, what was he? And plus, he's a better passer than Hurts. Seals, do you foresee us having more wins this year than last? No, I got you at 8-9. When has Mahomes had a shitty year when he had a great roster? Again, Patrick Mahomes' worst year is Jalen Hurts' best year. Let me take a look at that. Want to be double checked? I want to be on that. By the way, I'm going to get to Lane Johnson here in a second. So let me go over here. Let me see what Mahomes did a year ago. This is like got to be one of his worst years. So what did Mahomes do last year in 14 games? 3,500 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 11 picks. That's his worst year in 14 games. And if he had played the last 3, he'd have $4,000 and about 27 touchdowns. I don't know. I'm a Bucks fan. I wish we had a show like this calling criticism where it's needed. Dude, that shit going on with Baker Mayfield and that ridiculous general manager, Jason Light, lying to everybody, the way he got in front of the media yesterday and tried throwing shade and cover on the organization was embarrassing. Jason Light should be embarrassed on that press conference he did. An absolute train wreck. Vita Vea hates him. Mike Evans hates it. And now he's alienated Baker Mayfield. Mayfield's going out this year and balling for, guess what? He's auditioning for 31 other teams. He's going to be auditioning for other places. He's not staying in Tampa. Why would he? When he can make more money and pick his team. He'll be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. And he'll be able to call his own number. Afternoon, Sills. Could the Birds have a dynasty with a pocket passing quarterback? Well, think about it, dude. Penn, you had 2 phenomenal wide receivers for 5 years. And you had a bottom 10 passing game. I don't know. Well, let me ask you this, Penn. What do you think a guy like Mahomes or Allen would have done with a 2,500-yard rusher? What do you think? It could be Jalen and it could be coaching. We don't know when it comes to this organization. They hide everything and push out what they want. That's a fair comment. Seals, funny thing is Hurts didn't play good and the team still won 11 games. That's the talent on the roster. How are the fans upset? Can't win every year. I know. It is expectations, though. Seals, how much of the shit you say about the Eagles do you really believe? I'm thinking 40-60, troll job. Yeah, for 30 years, that's what I do. I appease you to make you get a reaction. Bro, the only way that you can stay in the game like I have, you got to have conviction in what you're saying. If not, then you're a BS artist. You're M. Reyes. You're a realist in a room with a lot of delusionists. Yes. Seals, did Mayfield have an issue with Josh Grizzard? No, the team got injured. They lost both their offensive tackles. They lost their center. They lost Evans. And I don't think Grizzard was the reason. I think the reason that they lost was because of Todd Bowles. I think Bowles is a bad head coach. Big Seals, how you doing, big homie? Happy Football Friday to you. Stuna, how you doing, man? Cardinal fans, like your spirit, you just disappear when the season starts and things go south. Hey, Coyote, think about this. They got a terrible GM. They got a terrible owner in Bidwell. And their head football coach is a brand newbie. Where do you think the Cardinals are going? You know where the Cardinals are going? The same place the Cardinals always go. The bottom of the NFC West. Another issue here is Howie, as great as he is, has done a weird pairing. Pocket passer coach paired with an elite RPO quarterback, square peg and round hole. Neither Nick nor Jalen have hit their potential. They never will because they're on polar opposites. Nick believes in a pocket passer and Jalen is an RPO. You married the wrong chick, and so you know what Nick did? He coached it his way. In the end, Nick's right. Nick's right in the end. Throwing across the middle of the field, Nick doesn't want him to. Or Jalen doesn't want to. It's one or the other. Or both. There's a reason the Cardinals are always picking in the top 5. Correct. There's a reason the Jets are always in the top 5. Owner, GM, bad head coach. Get this, guys. That's the mantra of the Jets. Bad owner, bad GM, bad head coach. You can't be a head coach with a bad owner and a bad GM. You can't be a good GM with a bad head coach and a bad owner. All starts at the top, dude. I mean, the reason why the Commanders kind of won a little bit under the Snyder era, you had Mike Shanahan. And actually, if you look at Jay Gruden, look at the coaching staff that they had, those two teams, or those two coaches. Look at the coaches that they had on that and those staffs. They had exceptional coaching. And they had a horrible front office, and they have a horrible owner. That's why it wobbled. Happy Friday, Sales. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Heading out to get drunk with my fiance. See you Monday. Thank you, brother. Seals, would it be smart if the Cardinals brought someone to help Love at running back for first 2 years, besides getting the kid beat up? Gibbs benefited from not getting beat up. Yeah, well, they had Penei Sewell. There's some talent in that offensive line, but they got to get better in their lines, dude. They got to be committed. to get to those lines like the Eagles are committed. Skills, can you give me some insight into expectations for Jalen Carter under his new contract? Will he live up to it? A lot of money for a guy that has been inconsistent. I'll tell you what, man. So far, a lot of great things are being said about him. He looks like he is energized and looks like he's ready to go. That's a great sign. And that's all you could say here on August 7th. He's got to go out and play 17 games in 18 weeks. See what he does. Hey, you know the cool thing about the NFL? Rent's due. There's no way around it. All the talk, all the BS, all of that is irrelevant. You got to go play 60 minutes. Says, how much heat should Howie get for this draft class? 0. Everyone knew it was soft on talent, but still, if everyone knew that, why wouldn't he trade back for players or assets in 27? Hang on here. I'm telling you what Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers are today. I'm not telling you what they're going to be tomorrow. And I would not say that. They haven't been on the field yet. I'm telling you right now, not good. Here, what did I write down here? Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers, after the first 2 weeks, have been disappointments. That's not an indictment on their career. That's an indictment on today. And by the way, for the record, this shows you there's no cemented take. You see this right here? Ray has said that, get this, great pick. Remember on draft day? Great pick. Super pick. And yet all you're hearing is disappointment from Stowers and Mekhi Lemon. And everybody who's covering the team. Those are facts. Those are the facts. And get this. Everybody that's been out there has said that Eli Stowers and Mekhi Lemon have been disappointments. Disappointments. Get this. This goes exactly to my point. I thought it wasn't a very good pick. It's turning out to be a great pick. Right now, Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers are very unimpressive. That's not me saying that. That's everyone that's covering the team saying that. So I did hear some good things about the third-round pick, Bell. I'm hearing good things about him. I am. I guarantee you people, if you remove Josh Allen and replace him with Jalen Hurts with all the players the Bills have, Jalen probably will do amazing. Trust me. Verbiage and route concepts are kicking Murray's ass. Murray, are you talking Kyler Murray? You don't know shit, but to trash players before they even play. Bro, once again, the first 2 weeks of training camp have been disappointment for Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers. I'll say it again. That's not an indictment on their careers. It's an indictment on their first 2 weeks of practice. I've said that 6 times. Bills could barely make the playoffs. And if they didn't have Allen, they'd win 3 games. The Eagles have been a great organization for 20 years. Well, here's the thing, though. Piatis, Zach Ertz didn't get much playing time behind. That kid's a good player. Piatis, Mekhi Lemon can't get playing time behind Elijah Moore? Hollywood Brown? Well, wait, he's hurt. That's part of it. You're not talking about elite guys here. It's one thing to be stuck behind A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. It's another thing to be stuck behind Hollywood Brown and Elijah Moore. Seals, how are the rest of the first-round receivers faring? Well, Lake's going to start. Let's see. Let's take a look at that. Let's see. That's a good take. 2020. But you got to remember, most of those wide receivers that were drafted are going to crappy teams. 2026 NFL draft. Let's take a look at that. That's not a bad take. Let's see the first wide receivers, Carnell Tate. Let's take a look and see if he's starting with the Titans. Now, again, it's the Titans. They're terrible. They have Carnell Tate starting. Well, that's not that big a deal. Carnell Tate should start in Tennessee. Let's see here. Who's the next guy? Tyson. He went to the Saints. So let's take a look at the Saints. Roster. Let's take a look at that. Let's go to the depth chart with Saints. Tyson starting. Let's go to the next guy. Let's see here. Next wide receiver. That is Lemon. Okay. Concepcion Browns. Let's take a look at that. Depth chart. Concepcion starting. Okay. Let's see. Omar Cooper. Is he starting? Let's see. Omar Cooper. Is he starting for the Jets? These are terrible teams. Depth chart. Cooper starting. Every wide receiver except Lemon is starting. Let's see. Now, the context is these teams are bad. Any more? Okay, yeah, Omar Cooper. Stribling from the 49ers. 49ers are a good football team. Let's see if he's starting. Nope. He's behind Mike Evans. Okay. So there's two wide receivers. Let's go down. Is there any more? Pittsburgh drafted a wide. Oh, that's the second round. Okay. And that other kid, too, by the way, by the 49ers is a second rounder. So every wide receiver in the first round, except for Lemon, is starting. Now, those teams are shitty, though. Y'all sleeping on Kellen's offense and the wide receivers. Seals, what has been the one thing that's hurt the Bills the last 3 to 4 years? It's been the defensive tackle. Would you call the Bucs Vita Vea? Maybe. Also, I think they need more playmakers. I'm calling it. The Saints are going to be unstoppable. Yeah, we'll see. They're throwing the ball a ton, I'll tell you that. So now Lemon's going to suck because he's not playing in training camp. Got it. Never said that. Once again, he's not listening. The first 2 weeks of training camp have been a disappointment for Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers. For the 7th time, nobody said it's an indictment on their career. You wanted an 8th time? For the 7th time. His first 2 weeks have been a disappointment. Actually, since he's become an Eagle, has been disappointment with injuries and lack of production on the field. It's not an indictment on his career. What are you not understanding? I've said that 7 times. Don't draft USC wideouts in the first round. The eye test doesn't lie. As a matter of fact, I mean, boy, I tell you, all the offensive production guys, that Lincoln Riley supposedly has produced? CeeDee Lamb, like who? Swab, appreciate you, bro. Okay. To have an indictment on the first 2 weeks of training camp is some hater bullshit. You've got 15 practices, my friends, to get yourself ready for the upcoming season. And here's the truth. Since Mekhi Lemon has been a Philadelphia Eagle, he's been disappointing. Same with Eli Stowers. That's not hating. As of August 7th, he's been a disappointment. He's hurt again today. I'm not concerned about Devontae. How is telling the truth? Hater. He's hurt again. What are you not getting, dude? How is that hating by telling the truth? How many people don't think that Mekhi Lemon has been a disappointment so far with OTAs, minicamp, and training camp, and he's hurt? How many people are disappointed with the start of that guy's career so far? And again, it's not here's the 8th time. Stop crying. Deal with reality. The league does. The league deals with it. Still, Stowers was a project to begin with. I'm not disappointed, but it has been disappointing so far for Lemon. Get this. So you draft a guy that you know you're going to need an offensive weapon in the 2nd round, and you're like not going to get anything out of the guy? Hey, dude, but wait. Jimbo, how many people were disappointed in Nakobe Dean when Nakobe first got to Philly? I was. A lot of people were. And by the way, that still played out. I wasn't wrong about Nakobe. If Nakobe was such a great player, why isn't he still here? Because he gets hurt. Being injured and not being available outweighs talent. Don't you get it? As good as Nakobe was, this is where people don't get it. Nakobe was a talented football player, but why is he not on the Eagles? And if Mekhi Lemon is a good player, but he's always hurt, he won't be here either. What are you not getting? You just went through it with Nakobe Dean. Why? Okay. Why is Nakobe not here? Why is Nakobe not here? Why is he not here? Why is Nakobe Dean not here? It's not because he's not a good player. Why is he not here? You guys keep telling me. Was it a bad pick? Okay. So you drafted a guy to replace Nakobe Dean. Why? Why? Get this. Already implying they will injury prone for their careers as Eagles. That's a bullshit indictment. He's been injured every month he's been here. Bro, this guy just refuses reality. That guy lives in non-reality land. So on Quinyon Cooper's rookie year, they had hamstring issues. D. Smith had hamstring issues. AJ and Goddard also. I don't think Lemon and Smitty hamstrings will be a problem by week 1. Dude, Mekhi Lemon has been unimpressive. Did you not hear John or anyone that watched When you watch the guy like Devontae Smith and you watch these good wide receivers like Jefferson or anybody step on a football field, you know immediately what you're like, damn, that guy, that's going to be a ball. Like Emeka Ibuka a year ago with the Bucks. Everyone knew that kid was going to be good. They knew that kid was going to be, and he's going to be great. We went to the Super Bowl when that happened. We don't even know what Lemon is because of his injuries. He's a first-round pick, bro. For the 8th time, Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers in the first 2 weeks of camp. And actually, Mekhi Lemon, since he's been an Eagle, has been disappointing. That's not an indictment on a career. It's an indictment on who you are today. What are you not understanding about that? That's the 8th time I've said that. Why are you not listening to that? Let's see here. Availability is your best ability. Talent doesn't mean shit if it's consistently on the sidelines in street clothes. Hey, get this, DFW. They can't answer the question why Nakobe Dean is not here. Nakobe's a good player. Mekhi Lemon may be a good player. But if Mekhi Lemon's not a healthy guy and he can't get on the field, he won't be here either. The Eagles just showed you they got rid of a good player because he was too injured. What is not facts about that? Like, what are you not getting? Okay. All right. So when he steps on the field, let's see if he wins a starting gig or if he's in the 2-hole. Hopefully he's in the 3-hole. It's not like you've got impressive wideouts outside of the. Hey, dude, if your first rounder can't beat out Hollywood Brown and Dontavian Wicks, I mean, really? Shit, I'll tell you what. Let me ask you something here. Let's take a look at something here. Let me go back on year to year with the Philadelphia Eagles and how they act. Let's see something here. Eagles. Year to year draft. Let's take a look at this. Okay. Shit, Makuba started the season last year. Hey, Kyle. Did Andrew Makuba start the Eagles season last year before he got injured? Was he the starting safety last year in the opener? Just double checking. Was he the starter? So let's take a look at this one here. He was a second rounder. Quinyon Mitchell started immediately. They didn't even get this. They saw him in practice. They didn't even think of anything. Jeff, so Makuba started last year, okay? They didn't even need the first game to know that Q was going to start. They put him out there. They didn't wait for anything. They put his ass out there, and they started his ass. And here's another one. So when what's-his-name became healthy, they put Cooper DeJean right in there. He started. They didn't wait around for Jalen Carter. He started. Davis and Cam, they waited. Devontae, as soon as they drafted him, they didn't wait. They put his ass in there. And by the way, you're in the same situation that you were in 21. The only difference is Devontae is the one. Don't you think you would like to see him at the number 2? So you're not going to start that guy, but you started Devontae his rookie year. All right. He's a slot receiver. Dude, if he's a slot receiver, your number 3 wide receiver who plays the majority of the time in the slot has been underutilized. Why not put him in there? Start him. He's a slot wide receiver. He's never beat out any of the wide receivers on a roster because he's a slot receiver. Also can't beat anyone out. You're not on the field due to injuries. We shall see what happens. Like I said, for the 9th time, and I'm not bootleg. I'm not ripping on you, dude. But for the 9th time, 2 weeks, Eli Stowers and Mekhi Lemon have been disappointing. Anybody who watches the practice out there will tell you that. That's not in it. I'm repeating myself there. The TD was a nice underdog. He looked poised and accurate, but it's preseason, correct? If you're talking about Carson Beck, we shall see. Someone throw Lemon out there on the field. So, okay. Yeah, I definitely would. Absolutely. Seals, Barkley and Hurts both raved over Wicks. They said he's a beast. Wait a second. I do have a topic on that. I do. Okay. Barkley and Hurts say that Dontavian Wicks is a beast. Okay. He's either going to take advantage of this opportunity like AJ did when he got here and turn himself into a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL, or he's going to be a dude. That's the story on Dontavian Wicks. And if Barkley and Hurts are saying these things, Dontavian Wicks has an opportunity in a big-time year for him to prove Green Bay was wrong. Green Bay didn't have room for him anymore. Listen to Brian Gutekunst. He said it. They didn't have room. That's why they dealt him. So, here's a chance for him to prove that he's George Pickens. He can prove he's George Pickens and that he was in a bad situation and he was dying on the depth chart there. He's got every opportunity. He's going to get it. He's going to get the opportunity. He's going to get the targets. He's going to get a chance to change the narrative on his career. Right? Hurts and Barkley are saying this. Okay, listen, I don't not believe them. Dontavian Wicks in 2026 is either going to be, do you guys remember that Juju Smith-Schuster? Hey, anybody in here remember? What was it? Juju Smith-Schuster, like he won a Super Bowl and then he got paid like big money. And then when they found out that Juju Smith-Schuster was Juju Smith-Schuster, everybody was like this. Oh, yeah, he's Juju Smith-Schuster. You guys remember that a couple years ago? I can't remember who signed him. It might have been Pittsburgh who signed him. I can't remember. Somebody signed him to a big number, and he was supposed to be the one, and he turned out to be a dud because it was Mahomes. Well, that's exactly where Dontavian Wicks is in his career. Bro, you're going to get every opportunity. In 2000, okay, it was the Chiefs? Okay. And then the Chiefs let him go and they brought him back, right? I think that's how it worked. He started in Pittsburgh. They brought him over to the Chiefs. They gave him some pretty good money. And then he turned out to be a dude. So, of course you don't. Once again, I'll be slow for a guy like this. In 2026, Dontavian Wicks has a chance to do what A.J. Brown did when he came to the Eagles. You're either going to elevate into being a top-flight wideout or you're not. And you're going to be just cast off as a dude. That's correct. He's right. That's a good, and that's why the Chiefs signed him. Then when the Chiefs found out he was a dude, which he is, his career went the other way. J-Mac and reporters are also saying the same thing about Wicks. Hey, he'll have his chance to prove Green Bay wrong. I'm not saying, listen, I don't know, but he was the fourth receiver in Green Bay. Now, does that necessarily mean that he's not going to come to Philly and elevate his game? No. He's going to have an opportunity. Dude, so if the reporters and players are saying the same thing, there must be some truth to it. So you think he's going to be a what, Prince? What number are you putting on Dontavian Wicks this coming season? What do you think? In the 2-hole in Philadelphia. What do you think he's going to do? I'm curious. I don't know. What do you think he's going to do? He's with a better quarterback in Green Bay. 1,500 yards. 420 yards. What do you think, Prince? Give me a number. I'm curious on how you look at him this year and what you're expecting from Dontavian Wicks. What do you think? I want to know where you're at. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I'm just going off of what's being said. Oh, okay. Off of what's being said about a very underwhelming wide receiver room. Over 700 yards and 6 TDs. If he gets 700 yards and 6 TDs, okay, that's kind of good. That's not elite. This is not elite stuff. This is not. For your 2-hole, that's not elite. Seals, remember the same exact thing happened with Mike Wallace. That's correct. Mike Wallace was in Pittsburgh, and Mike Wallace ended up signing that big-time contract down in Miami. I think it was like $17 million at the time. It was like whatever. And he got down there, and he had Ryan Tannehill, and he wasn't stiff. 10 Jules, thank you, my friend. You don't have Pro Bowlers at every position. Okay. You have you've had 2 1,000-yard receivers, like 3 of the last 4 years in Philly. And now you're settling for 450 yards? Okay. That's, quite frankly, you're right. Hurts will win the MVP this year, mark my words. Says, how does this sound for Wicks? 9 receptions, 44 yards, and a fumble lost. That sounds like more Mekhi Lemon. Wonder how many games he's going to play if he's healthy. Here's a new one. Ever since June 2nd, AJ was not elite in Tennessee before he. I just said that. I just said he was a 1,000-yard receiver a couple years there. I just said that, dude. Seals, to that point, doesn't that show how good Roethlisberger was? Roethlisberger's a Hall of Fame player. Wicks will put more effort in blocking than Brown did. That's probably why Barkley's praising him. So let me get this right. A.J. Brown was blocking for Derrick Henry, who had a 2,000-yard rushing year. And A.J. Brown blocked for Barkley, who had a 2,000-yard rushing season. Can you name me another wide receiver in NFL history that blocked for two different 2,000-yard rushers? Can you? That was a top 10 receiver. Name me one other than AJ. Name me one. Name me one wide receiver that blocked for two different dudes that ran for 2K. Can you? Picking and choosing what? In 2 weeks. Being on the team and being good at blocking are two different things. Being on the team and being a top 10 wideout and delivering and having the third most receiving yards in the last 4 years in the league and winning and getting paid and blocking for another 2,000-yard back. That's who he is. Hey, Sills, who's the last 30-year-old wide receiver that made a difference on a new team? I don't know. I didn't know AJ was 30. Wicks has a great attitude. Phenomenal. I think the offense is good, like we hope. I think Wicks will have 800 to 1,100 receiving yards at best. That, to me, isn't top 10. That's like, so you're expecting top 15 out of Wicks. So you're expecting 85 catches and 1,100 yards, right? Okay. But you said he blocked for two different running backs. He was not great at it at all. You're right. Probably just a coincidence, right? That he was on two different teams with two different 2,000-yard backs. And to you, that's a coincidence. Is that right? He blocked for Henry and he blocked for Barkley. But hey, he wasn't good at it. Oof. Wow. 100% alignment, don't matter who's talented, a player, is if he and they aren't engaged. Let me tell you, Twiz, that's like saying you believe practice squad players can go out there and give you a better effort. You mean like San Francisco did in the playoff game? Twiz, did it ever cross your mind? How did your so-called talented roster of a year ago with almost the same players get beat by that Niner team? Oh, I know. A.J. Stoutland and Kevin Patullo. The excuses you have for that. But when Allen doesn't win, those are excuses. Got it. 2025, A.J. was lazy here. Can't complain about the other years at all. Wait. So, AZ, everyone tells me that Kevin Patullo was the worst offensive coordinator in the Nick Sirianni era. And you don't think that had any factor in getting him open either? Oh, I see. 800 to 1,100 yards would be great. Gun to my head. Do I think that's going to happen? No. I pray to God it does, though. Okay? That would be a steal. Correct, it would be. And he'd beat George Pickens. He'd beat George Pickens. Dude, Pickens was Yeah, but Pickens had garbage as quarterbacks when he was in when he was in Pittsburgh. Seals, this is just the fan of me, but honestly, I don't care how many yards Lemon or Wicks has, long as we can compete for a Super Bowl. Okay, well, like I said, do you think you have enough skilled players on that offense right now to be a Super Bowl contending team? I don't. Seals, no matter what I do, I can't shake the memory of 2 halves of football with no completions. Who does that? A very talented roster. That's who does that. Seals, people forget that Randy Moss was around 30-31 when he came to New England and ended up breaking Jerry Rice's TD record, and T.O. was 30 when he came to Philly. Yeah, well, AJ's a good player, but he ain't Moss and Rice. He's not that guy. I mean, he's a good player and all, but he ain't those two. Those 2 guys right there that you just mentioned are like in the top 5 and Jerry's number 1. It's Rice and everyone else. Pickens is garbage. He's another head case. He's garbage? I'm not going down there. Pickens is not garbage. The quarterbacks he had in Pittsburgh were garbage. Like Justin Fields. Guy was a train wreck. I remember people in here telling me, hey, Seals, you see Justin Fields runs the 4.4? I went, so what? Anytime somebody starts with running and their legs and all the rest of that crap, how is he in the pocket? Now you're making shit up. Did I say that, Prince? Of course he's making shit up. Prince is the king of narratives. I mean, you thought, hey, look, like I said, first 2 weeks of training camp, Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers have been a disappointment. Everyone in here, all the thing they hear is Sileo says that Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers is a disappointment. Well, it's true. They have been. There's nothing wrong with saying that. The Kobe Dean was a disappointment because he was always hurt. Oh, and by the way, again, you just went through this. You got rid of a good player in Dean because he couldn't stay healthy. Wasn't because he sucked. Why wouldn't that apply to Lemon? Yeah. This guy will throw shit against the wall, him and the other guy, and then tell you and turn around and go like this. Hey, you're moving the sticks. You're like saying all this other. Dude, I'm telling you what the hell they are today and what they're doing today. If you can't face reality, I can promise you this. Their agents are telling them, you need to pick it up and get healthy. You got playing incentives in your contracts, kid. You got roster bonuses on active. Like, do you know if that kid's not active on the opening day roster, he probably loses $300,000. That shit right there is something you got to look at because the agent's in his ear. You got to get healthy, guy. You got to be on that opening day roster. And I'm not saying he's not going to not be. The kid, get this. The kid has been in camp for a week and a half. Okay, so wait a minute. April, May, June, July. He's been here 4 months. And he's been in the tub all 4 months. What? You don't put that in there? Guy's been in the tub for 4 months. Am I wrong, Jimbo? Jimbo, has he been in the tub for 4 months? Yes or no? Has Mekhi Lemon been in the tub for 4 months? Jimbo, has Mekhi Lemon been in the tub for 4 months? Yes or no? Has Mekhi Lemon, for a fifth time, been in the tub for 4 months? Yes or no? I mean, yes or no? Dude, okay. I mean, these people can't answer the truth. This is who you are since you got here. That's not saying what he's going to do in December or November. Can't you? Hey, has Jimmy Pearsall been a. Let me see something here with Pearsall. And let me ask Nat here. And let me go with Ricky Pearsall. Let's go down to this guy's numbers. As a first-round draft choice, I can't remember where he was taken, what pick. I know he was a first round. He was the 11th overall player taken. Oh, what was he? I forget. What pick was he, Nad? He's had 400 yards, and he's had 528 yards. Hey, Nad, has Ricky Pearsall been a disappointment in San Francisco, yes or no? Has he been a disappointment? I started watching Sills right when you guys first traded for AJ. Okay, Nad, Ricky Pearsall is a first-round draft choice, and he's been a disappointment to this point in his career. Is that a false statement? Is it a false statement in 4 months, Lemon's been in the tub? No. You guys can't handle reality. Do you not know that's how coaches talk to these players behind the scenes? Okay, Pearsall was a first-round pick. 31st overall. First round. And he's been a disappointment. Okay? Right? I mean, how about this one? And by the way, I'm talking about the first 2 weeks of camp, last week and now. Here we are. It's a week and a half, really. And you're, 7 practices in? How many you got left? Maybe 11? You got 11 practices left of training camp. 11. Then you start ramping it up, preparing for the Commanders, right? Going crazy with what? The truth? By the way, it's funny. I'm echoing almost the same shit McMullen says, and you're all moaning about it. Let's say Mannion does a good job with the offense. Won't he be a hot commodity to be a head coach? Probably. That would be a meteoric rise for a guy who's been a coach for 20 months. Yes. That would be a meteoric rise. Hey, like I said, all I'm doing here today, we're just talking about your first week and a half of practices. I wouldn't get my panties in a bind. Okay? You got 36 days. Pickens got a bad rap in Pittsburgh. He was frustrated and immature. Pickens wants to win, and if the team is losing and not using him, Des Bryant was the same way. I think Pickens is now starting. And by the way, I'm really shocked and really think about it too. DFW. The one guy that they thought would be the distraction would be Pickens. The guy who was actually thrown out of a game and suspended by the league was DK Metcalf. after going after that fan in Detroit. Put that in your hat. Metcalf in Pittsburgh was the guy that was suspended. Pickens went out and got himself a franchise tag worth nearly $30 million. So at the end of the day, Pickens to me is the happier guy. And he's a head case. Tell you what, they tagged him and he didn't complain about it. He's playing on it. Well, I'll tell you what, in 2 years so far, Pickens has not been a headache in Dallas. He's been a gamer. Hey, you're talking about something that's 2 years ago. Well, last year he was a baller. This year he didn't complain. He didn't like getting tagged, but he's playing on it. How many poached Super Bowl winning coordinators go on and have successful head coaching careers? Well, Sean McVay was OC in Washington. Let's see. Kyle Shanahan was an OC in San Francisco. Andy Reid was a quarterback coach in Green Bay and went on to be a Super Bowl coach. Let's see. John Gruden was an OC in Philly and went on to win a Super Bowl with the Bucks. There's probably 1,000 guys. Okay, if he breaks his foot today and Jerry Jones tells him to fuck himself, I don't think he'll feel good. Why would you do that? People get hurt in football. Dude, I'll tell you what. George Pickens, you call him a headache? And then you don't call your guy Jalen Carter a headache. All right. Hey, all I remember is Pickens didn't get thrown out of no game last year. Carter did. And so did Metcalf. Pickens is growing up. Plus, well, he's also, get this, right, the shitty quarterback situation. I can't believe what these owners put up with and pay these head case receivers. You can have them. Hey, Charles, that's the position of today, dude. You got to coach everybody. You can't exclude people. Some of the most talented people on the planet are head cases. You've got to coach those guys. I don't want the guy on my team because he's a head case. So let me ask you this here, Charles. If you knew you had a drug addict in Lawrence Taylor, would you want him on your team? I would. I'm not his father. I would try talking to him. But if LT showed up on Sundays and got me 3 sacks and 10 tackles, and I won 2 Super Bowls with him, and the greatest defensive player of all time, I'm not his I'm not his father. I don't want LT on my team because LT's a head case. He's a drug addict, and Lawrence Taylor, what are you, crazy? I wouldn't want LT on my team. Really. I mean, hey, don't put out Lawrence. Lawrence Taylor took drugs, and he was a maniac, and he was out all night. I don't care. This is professional football. Lawrence Taylor shows up at 3 o'clock 8 o'clock in the morning every day, and he leaves at 6 o'clock. I don't go home with him. That's not my responsibility. That's his accountability. Whatever happens to him is on him. What do you think? These guys are daycare workers? Seals, if Mannion does a nice job, I think teams would want to see another year before giving him maybe because of the limited coaching background, potentially. That segment you had earlier this week with the Hall of Fame voter, can't remember his name, Jason Cole, was great. He broke down mentality of a receiver and was spot on. Correct. That's the mentality of every player, guy. Absolutely, man. Dude, these men are men. You're not their fathers. Sills, I missed the AB story 25 years. I know after Burfict hit his career started going south, experts are saying CTE caused the problems. Do you agree? Maybe. Dude, Antonio Brown's a better wide receiver than Larry Fitzgerald. Seals, don't forget about Holmgren going from Frisco to Green Bay. Correct. My point was bad teams steal Super Bowl coordinators and go on and fail. Reich, become head coaches. Yeah, okay. Well, as many failures as you have there, you have a ton of success too, stories. I think it's probably right in the middle. Enabler for shit behavior. Why, you signed Michael Vick? You don't think that's poor behavior? You don't think murdering dogs was poor behavior? You were an enabler. The Eagles were enablers by giving him a contract, according to you. I like the second chance. Not you, though, right, Reyes? AB was so good. Wish he kept his shit together because he left years of production on the table. Great receiver, great player. Taylor was also awesome. I would not start the meeting without him either. But Dan, he played hard when it counted, and he did not dog it. Ever. Hey, like I said, that's not my responsibility as a head football coach. If Lawrence Taylor gets busted in public for intoxication or for prostitution, he's got to deal with that as a man himself. I'll be there for him because he's on my team. But I can't be there holding his hand in his life. I'm not his father. That's real talk, dude. Hey, Sil, since you're predicting a down year for the Eagles, since all the new additions to the staff and the first-time play caller, who is more on the hot seat, Sirianni or Hurts? Perhaps both? Yeah. Especially in an organization that constantly puts them on the hot seat. Wide receivers have been labeled divas since the beginning of the National Football League. This isn't breaking news. Good coordinators know how to scheme great receivers open and keep them happy. DFW. But here's the difference. Back in the day, if you talk shit, you got destroyed coming across the middle of the field. Now, because they protect them, because of gambling, those receivers are more, they talk more. And so they're not as, though they're more protected, which has now enabled them to be more of a shit talker. You start talking crap across the middle of the field, Jack Tatum's going to decleat you, paralyze you. A guy like Mel Blunt's going to destroy you. You're not doing that back in the day. Now you can. Now you are like, you're not in that same conversation any longer. Because, like I said, at the end of the day, people are going to be more like this. They're going to be like, hey, man, hey, you know what? You're able to go out there and you're able to say whatever you feel like. And you're able to do that today. Back in the day, you were not able to do that. Today, you can do that. Okay? It's been a week and a half. And what I'm getting from the local media in Philly is this. They're trying to be, optimistic as they possibly can after the first what is it? Week and a half, what is it now? 7 practices? What do you got? About 11 left? Okay. Nothing wrong with that. It's August 7th. I heard Zander say this morning on his show with John. John, what's your takeaway in the first week and a half of practice? My takeaway is Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers have been disappointing so far. Have they not? And you know what people in here do? They run at it and go like this. Oh, he's saying he's going to be a bust. Nobody's saying that. I've said that now for the 10th time. All right. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask Zander that. What he thinks the first week and a half have been for the Eagles. Hey, by the way, you know what the craziest and coolest thing that you guys could take away? What's the one thing I'm not talking about? That defense. Zander's no holes defense might be 2.0. Because there's a little to bitch about over there. Very little. All right. Without further ado, we'll get to all, by the way, Super Chats, we will get to you guys. Mike Nort's going to be with us at 4:30 Eastern Time. Philly Godfather will join us at 5:30. Let's go to our guy, Big Z, now and get his thoughts after the first week and a half of practice here with your birds there. How you doing, big boy?
What's up, Sills? How you doing, brother? Oh, wait, let me put in my headphones so we don't have a StreamYard issue.
Oh, Jesus criminy, man. I saw you going back and forth with John today, man. They need to get their shit together, dude.
I don't know what's going on. What up, brother? How you doing?
I love the shirt, guy.
Yeah, thank you, man. I picked this up overseas in Rome.
Let me get it.
What
you
is
got
it?
It from
An
a vendor.
Iconic city.
Wait a minute. You got it from a vendor. You got it from a vendor on the street, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I like that.
It was like 20 euros, I think.
All right, Z, let me ask you, as I asked everyone today. Your first impressions, week and a half of the Eagle practice has been what?
Well, I think today they had some positive signs from the offense. Still no Devontae and Mekhi. Great to have Lane Johnson back out there, obviously. So that was a big one when I saw that happen today. That was pretty good. So look, I think I think now you're at the crux point here, like day 7 to like day 12, Sills, where I think they had to start to show some more positive signs of progression on the offense. I think you heard of that today a little bit. Jalen Hurts apparently looking more comfortable is what one of the NBC guys wrote. So I think that's a positive sign. And I think you're right about the defense. I mean, plenty to be excited about with that group. So pretty exciting about those guys. But, you know, as good as that is, none of our offseason questions revolved really around the defense, you know, and they were a great defense last year. So to me, the offense has to get to that next level. And, you know, that's what I'm focused more on. Now, it's a team game. Still need a great defense, but I'm waiting to see what the offense does. And it sounds like they had a pretty good run today.
What do you make of the first week and a half of Eagles camp? All of it. It's been good. And okay, well then I'll go deeper. Okay. In a week and
I can see it on your face.
No, wait, no. No. I mean, if that you think they've been good in a week and a half, okay. I'll ask you this. Mekhi Lemon, his first week and a half, is actually his first 4 months as an Eagle has been what to you?
Not very good so far.
Okay.
Slow start for the rookie.
Okay. It's not an indictment on a career. It's who he is today, right?
Correct.
Okay. Same with Stowers, right?
Yeah. I think you'll learn more about Lemon when the games come than Stowers. Like, I don't think Stowers will even be on the field that much.
Okay.
Lemon, they're going to trot him out there. If he looks like a stiff in the games, you're going to know real quick what's going on. Stowers, I think, is on the shelf. He's collecting dust on the shelf right now.
Okay. Mekhi Lemon you still are going to, I don't want to put it that way. Mekhi Lemon, will he have a big impact, a small impact, a fair impact on the team this year?
Fair. I'm hoping. I
Fair.
think it'll be small, but I'm hoping it'll be fair, if that makes sense.
So that's like the third guy, possibly.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your impression of Wicks? Now, before you answer,
Saquon was raving about him today too.
Okay. Well, then here's what we'll say about it. Do we agree? And let me ask you this before I answer it. Did you think A.J. Brown was going to be that A.J. Brown when you got him from Tennessee?
No.
I didn't.
I didn't either. I thought he'd be good, but I didn't think he'd be top 3 receiver in the league good.
No way. No way did I think that.
I mean, there was a couple-year run there where he was like being mentioned with Jamar and Jefferson.
Yes. But he was never that in Tennessee, correct?
No, absolutely not.
Right. I mean, he's a 60-catch guy.
Shout out to Jalen Hurts.
Okay, 900, right? Right? I mean, he was a 900 yards.
Just explain to me how A.J. Brown became one of the best receivers in football with who you call a stiff quarterback.
Easily. A.J. got the numbers because that's where they threw the ball, and the offensive passing game was a toilet bowl for 4 of the 5 years that he's been there as a group and a unit. That's on the quarterback.
Well, Jalen Hurts, you just said it. A.J. Brown was not perceived that way until he started playing with Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Well, the offensive passing attack has never been good, except for 1 year. I mean, never, really. I mean, guy's got his numbers, though. Now, this year, that's going to be different. That's what they're saying. All right. I don't have a problem with that. How about this one here? You think the best years are behind Hurts, or are they ahead of him?
I think I'm hoping he can steady out and ride where he is right now, and or maybe a little bit better than where he was like a year ago. But I'm hoping it's not a descent, if that makes sense. I don't know how much you add at this point, going into year 7. I think they are asking him to be a different quarterback, which would set him up to be in a different situation than most quarterbacks would be in. But no, I'm not ready to say he's descending yet. I think he's had two down seasons.
Okay.
But I don't think he is on a perpetual descent yet. If he has a down year this year, all right, it's going to be hard to say not.
Okay, so in your opinion, it's been environment on why his play is descended.
Well, 24 was, 25 was not.
Okay.
24, I think it's easy to say why Jalen's numbers were down. And they also achieved the pinnacle. So it's not like you didn't need him to be anything more. Last year, you had a good defense. The running game struggled, and you needed Jalen to elevate. And that's where I thought he came up short. 23, I think people are a little too hard on Hurts about 23. You had one of the worst defenses in all of football. He had pretty good numbers. He turned the ball over a little bit, but basically every quarterback that has a shitty ass defense turns the ball over because the only way to win games is to force the ball, So I think people are a little too hard on Hurts about 23. I don't hold that against him as an awful year for him. In fact, I thought it was a positive sign of passing development for him. But 24, circumstantial. 25 is the first year that I think Jalen Hurts needs to take, he needed to be better last year, and he wasn't.
Let me go back and where I was going with Dontavian Wicks. This is an opportunity of a lifetime, isn't it? He could do this. He could be AJ or elevate himself into being a guy, right? Or he could be, remember when Juju Smith-Schuster was in Pittsburgh and everyone was like, holy cow, he's playing next to AB, and everyone went, and the Kansas City Chiefs gave him a big contract. All of a sudden, when they found out he was Juju Smith-Schuster, they went, holy cow, he's just a dude. Do you think either way, where he's going to be like, he's going to elevate his game into being a 1,000-yard receiver? Or do you think he's going to be kind of what he's been in Green Bay? 500 yards, 600 yards,
Well,
35 catches.
I think somewhere in the middle. I mean, I don't think he's about to become what AJ Brown became, obviously, but I do think, with a bigger role and a bigger opportunity, for him, he does. What I do like about him is he does seem to have the mentality and the approach needed to be good at that position. I think you have to be kind of an alpha dude, you know what I mean? Kind of a guy that's ready to take on, a confident guy, stuff like that. So I think Dontavian has that. The drops haven't come up much in camp yet, but that has been a problem for him in the past. And it seems like Jalen really likes him, which is a big thing. So I'm thinking, I'll tell you this, Dontavian Wicks to me has become the clear number 2 in terms of my expectation this year. Look, I don't expect Mekhi Lemon to have the second most receiving yards behind Devontae Smith on the wide receivers. I think that's going to be Wicks. And then Lemon might be somewhere around or even to Hollywood Brown.
I'm going to make Kim, you here? Good. Let me hook you up on something.
Oh, God.
I'll tell you why Hurts likes Dontavian Wicks. Let me tell you something, dude. When you're married to a hot smoking chick, you're going to get so much shit. And she's going to give you hell. She's going to do this. She's going to do that. And when you're married to a fat chick, you're always going to be fed and loved. And I think that's where Jalen Hurts is right now. He's being fed and loved because he's got a wide receiver right now that's not giving him a ton of shit like A.J. Brown. Of course he's going to be in a better place.
Sileo.
You're because
looking for some bullshit.
Hey, wait a second. Wait a minute. I was told the entire offseason here they're going to be better by subtraction because they don't have that diva on the team any longer.
Well, your cis pod over there in New England's already stirring some stuff up.
Oh, man, is he killing it.
It's so funny, though, to watch the New England fans. They sound just like Philly fans did when we loved AJ. AJ's like, yeah, we better get a practice versus another team because this thing is starting to boil over between the offense and the defense. And all the fans are like, this is exactly the mentality you want on your football team. I'm like, yeah, okay. When you lose 3 games in a row or AJ Brown doesn't get 10 catches a game, then come talk to me.
10. If that guy doesn't get 11 or 12 targets a game, this guy's going to be on the sidelines reading War and Peace.
Yeah, well, just like he was in Philly.
No doubt about it.
You love him. He's your cup of tea.
Oh, no. I love him because he's a content king.
That's
why I love that guy.
Fair enough.
Hey, I do. Hey, has Devontae Smith, and I said this to you yesterday, but it's becoming more and more evident, isn't it? Or isn't it, maybe? Lane Johnson coming back. Devontae Smith. Who could you live without, in your opinion? If something went sideways this year between one of those two players, who could the Eagles survive without?
Lane or Devontae?
Yep.
Ooh, neither. I don't think either. Although apparently, I tell you what, your boy from Miami, Markel Bell, is apparently having a pretty good camp right now. Pretty good acclimation period. He looked good again today. Now, I'm excited about that, but I'm not ready to say that Markel Bell can step in for Lane Johnson. I think it's both, dude. I mean, you think about this. If you lose Devontae Smith, you have Wicks, Lemon, and who? Cooper? Darius Cooper?
I guess. Elijah. I guess.
Oof. Yeah, that's not going to be good enough. So, if you force me to pick one, I'd probably say Devontae.
Okay, Devontae. Do you think the Eagles need to go out and get another skilled player? Or too early?
I feel like they used a first-round pick like they're not going to do it right now. Maybe they will. I don't think they
need one.
No, well, sure. I mean, you can always use one, basically, but
hey, remember they went and made a deal for Jahan Dotson.
They have like 14 Jahan Dotsons right now. They don't need another Jahan Dotson. So I'm gonna say no on that.
What about Nick in the food salad today? Boy, he's mastered that whole thing. 12 minutes and 43. By the way, I thought that was a nice little subtle shot at A.J. Brown with that T-shirt today there with the Devontae Smith T-shirt. I thought that was awesome. He's out there wearing Devontae T-shirts now. And he's out there promoting him, taking a nice little.
What do you mean?
Subtle shot.
He wears a player shirt every day of his life.
Oh, that's the first time I've seen Devontae.
And you're straight up wrong.
Oh, okay, straight up wrong. I don't ever remember him wearing a Devontae.
Of course you don't. You conveniently don't.
Oh well, yeah, because the other guy was on the team. So wait a minute, you're telling me that he wore a Devontae Smith shirt with A.J. Brown on the team?
Yeah.
When?
Absolutely.
I don't remember that one.
I'll find it. It said Slim Reaper on it, and it had the number 6. I'll show you it.
All right.
Ready? Nick Sirianni, Slim Reaper shirt.
What was this?
I'm finding it. Oh, look, there it is.
All right.
There it is.
All right.
There it is.
Must have been after the Detroit game where he had no catches.
This was posted 49 weeks ago.
49 weeks ago. Okay. So that is like 2 off seasons ago.
Here it is.
Maybe 3.
49 weeks. There's 52 weeks in a year, Sileo.
So was he? Oh, it was last off season. Yeah. Boom.
I know you're a football guy, but my own.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, here's evidence of Sirianni wearing all his players on his T-shirt.
Look at this.
And then if you look to the bottom right corner of that graphic, you can see the Slim Reaper shirt, and I'll make that one a little bit bigger for you guys. And then you can see Nick Sirianni in a Devontae Smith shirt a year ago. All right? Fake news.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that at a presser.
What do you mean? That's a practice. He wears the shirt, and then he wears it at practice.
I said I don't remember him wearing a shirt like that at a
practice. There's a Lawnmower Man, Landon Dickerson. There's Quinyanimo Bay. There's Reed Blankenship and Cooper DeJean. Oof. And there is the Slim Reaper Devontae Smith.
Those are game day too. Yes, sir.
Fake news called
yes,
out.
Sir, babe. Oh no, I don't remember that at a presser. Like I said, like ever. But hey, that's just me being. That's right, because he did wear it at a presser. I don't ever remember that. But
yes, he did.
Okay, that is like you said on the field. Hey, dude. So Barkley's been awful quiet this camp. Is that a good thing or bad thing?
Well, I mean, they just put on pads. How many? What?
Okay. Well, they've had 4. They've had 4 practice pads days, right? What is it? Tuesday, Wednesday.
They didn't have Wednesday. They weren't in pads.
So have they had 3?
They've had 3, but the first one was like a pseudo pad. It was like a half a pad.
Okay. Was it helmets and shoulder pads?
I think, but there was like their acclimation. They give them pads one day before they go full speed. So
what's John saying about the run game? How's the run game coming along? I haven't heard.
Yeah, I haven't heard too much about it, to be honest with you. I'll maybe get into it tonight on Birds 365. See what he has to say about it. But I've always felt like the run game is a hard thing to gauge in practice, just because it's such a physical part of the game where you're not going to run it ever at full speed in practice, because you're not going to do that to your own defense and your own team and your own offensive line. So I think it's hard to gauge, but I am curious to see how it's coming along. I have a feeling that that's going to be something we're going to have to wait until the season to see what that thing looks like.
What do you think the identity of this team's going to be?
That's a good question. In the past they were this bully running team.
Yep.
Feels as though they've shedded that, right? They don't want to be that anymore. They're trying to rip that mask off and wear a new mask.
Completely, you think?
I mean, I just don't know how much can you run that style while going under center? You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, everybody seems to think that maybe there is a perfect little hybrid that Sean Mannion can concoct, but It feels like they're still going to be run heavy. I don't know. I don't know
Zander,
what the identity is going to be.
would you change Floyd Mayweather into being the boxer he was, into being the puncher? No.
But Floyd Mayweather never
Those are
lost.
identities. Those are identities.
I know, but Floyd Mayweather never lost. It's a bad example.
Do you think, you think the Dallas Cowboys' identity was running the ball down your fucking throat during the Aikman days, or do you think
I got a better one for you?
Okay.
Did Deontay Wilder need to change his game after he started getting his ass beat because he only had one big fucking haymaker, and once the right opponent came into the ring and steadied out his haymaker, the guy was burnt toast.
That guy was overrated.
He was like 40-0 until he wasn't.
With a bag of stiffs that they fought in the heavyweight division. George Foreman was George Foreman until he was
Deontay Wilder was a one-trick pony. When the one trick stopped working, he had to change.
And guess what? When George Foreman was 45 years old, I was ringside. I watched him knock out a kid, and that never changed on who he was. Okay? And the Eagles getting away from being the bullies? Hey, dude. My whole
Curtis says in the chat, Zander, under center can helps the physical style. You think so?
I do.
If they commit to that, but the under center to me seems to be more about, trying to evolve the passing game, but maybe it's not. Play action, motion, all those things that we've been hearing about.
I think they got to run him more.
Jalen?
Yeah.
Okay, well then they're not going to be under center that much if you want them to run a bunch.
You can't. I thought I heard the other day Mannion talking about that. You could still do things out of the RPO with him under.
Well, you can bootleg them out. You can do some different things, but a little bit harder.
Okay. Who's going to be the breakout guy on offense this year?
Breakout guy on offense? We just talked about him.
Wicks.
You know what? No, I take it back. I think it's going to be Cooper. I think it's going to be Darius Cooper. I think Mekhi Lemon might struggle to get playing time if they're honestly running a meritocracy.
Do you think they run that meritocracy on the offensive side like they do the defensive side?
No, they haven't. But I don't know. Who hasn't played that you think should have from a meritocracy standpoint before this year?
On the offensive side? Did we ever really know if Dotson was a good player or not? Because they never went to the middle of the field.
He was never, ever going to be better than Devontae Smith. Okay. Number 2.
How about Goddard?
He's been the one.
Yeah, but do you think they utilized him enough in that offense?
Yeah, that's not what I'm asking, though. Okay. I mean, you're asking if Cooper will get on the field or if they'll run it like the defense. Jahad Campbell was sent to the bench while playing good football because Vic Fangio believed that Nakobe Dean was what he needed more. Sending Goddard to the bench in favor of a better player would be a similar comp. Not how they utilized him. He was the one tight end. I think he was rightfully so the one tight end. Devontae Smith was rightfully so the number 2 wide receiver. Jahan Dotson was rightfully so the number 3 wide receiver. I think you have more of a question at wide receiver because is Mekhi Lemon rightfully so the number 3? Doesn't sound like he's been in camp.
That's a really great take about the offense. The offensive guys have never really been pushed by anybody because they're so good. And not that,
yeah. I mean, right. They're so established.
They're so established and so good that nobody's really going to get an opportunity except for where? Right guard and backups, right? For the last 4 years, really the only open in that offense has been what? Right guard. And number three wideout, right? That's been the only place.
Yeah, and even I don't think anybody was better than Dotson at number 3.
As a matter of fact, if you look back on the Sirianni era, who's been the most productive number 3 has been Quez Watkins.
Yeah, it's true. Quez is still around. You know that?
You think Covey sees any time?
He's looked good. I mean, I think he'll be the kick returner, punt returner, maybe. Maybe not kick returner, punt returner. Well, Shipley will probably be the kick returner.
I saw Shipley today. What do you make it? What's his role on this team?
I don't know. I don't think he's elevated as much as they were hoping. If you remember, Kenny Gainwell by year 3 and 4 really became kind of a change of pace back.
A hybrid guy.
Exactly. I don't think Will's ever become that. or at least hasn't yet in their eyes. We'll see. I mean, Tank is a better back than him, and obviously Saquon's there, so it's different. I mean, Kenny was here when you had Miles Sanders and DeAndre Swift, who they were not as certified up front as Saquon was. So I don't know what Shipley's role is, if any.
What do you think what do you think the top? What about we talk about the wide receiver room? What do you make of the tight end room?
I mean, I don't think it's great. I mean, Goddard, I like still. Munt, I think is good because of the blocking. Stowers, to me, I don't see how he gets on the field. I mean, unless they're really trying to go finesse, all right, then Stowers will be on the field.
Then Calcaterra makes the team.
No.
Well, wait, that's finesse. He's a pass catcher.
No, because Goddard can be finesse.
Well, I mean, do you want more pass catchers or do you want more run blockers? That's why I asked you about the identity.
Even in the finesse offenses, they need their tight ends to block.
Okay. Over on the defensive side, really the only issue is what? What do you think the only issue is right now?
I guess safety. I mean, I don't even see it as that big of an issue.
Well, no,
it feels like Vic has two dudes they like.
No, it's Grenard. No?
I mean, yes and no.
Why? Okay, explain, please.
Well, I just think that Jalen Hunt and Nolan Smith still have an opportunity to do good things.
And and would you agree Howie's acquisitions compared to last year's acquisitions for depth have been Vic's talking about those guys more. AJ and the other kid. Correct?
That's right. Epinesa and Ebikadi. Yeah, I mean, those guys have had a good camp too, but I think you still need Grenard, obviously. I mean, they paid him $25 million. You better get out there. But I mean, if Jalen Hunt becomes what you said a little bit ago, like could he become a 12-sack guy, a 10-sack guy? Well, that loss is going to be easier to bear,
Yeah.
So we'll
absolutely.
See.
I tell me if you agree or disagree with this. Nakobe Dean and Mekhi Lemon. You would agree that Nakobe Dean is a really good football player, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, why is he not here? Because he was hurt. No other reason, correct?
No. Well, I mean, they drafted a linebacker in the first round.
Okay, so they drafted to replace him. Okay, so even though he's a really good player, they drafted somebody to replace him, correct?
Yeah. I don't know. I see it differently. I mean, the Eagles have very clearly, to me, established a order of doing business. They draw a line, a hypothetical line in the sand. They determine players who they want to be core players, and they pay them. And then anybody who they do not determine falls into the budget of being a core player, no matter how good they end up playing, they let them go, i.e. Milton Williams, i.e. Jalen Phillips, i.e. Josh Sweat, all these guys. Then you have, in offense, it was Devontae, it was Jalen Hurts, it was Lane, Mailata, Dickerson, Juergens, all these guys. I don't think Nakobe ever crossed the threshold of being what they saw as a long-term piece, as a crux player on the team. So they drafted a linebacker that I think they now feel like that about, and Nakobe's gone.
So Nakobe's not on the football team because of money.
I mean, dude, we're not playing Madden here. There is a cap. Yeah,
okay.
they can't pay everybody.
No. I'm asking you, why is he not?
He's not here because he wasn't good enough.
Okay, so he's not here because of money and what we say injury. Two things: money and injury.
Maybe style too.
Maybe style.
You think it's any coincidence that they've ended up with two athletic, versatile linebackers in the Vic Fangio era?
So you think Nakobe wasn't athletic? I'm just asking. You just said they went and got.
Is Nakobe Dean as athletically gifted as Jahad Campbell?
Why isn't Nakobe Dean on this football?
Yeah, but why do you have to go to the extreme? Zander said he wasn't athletic. He's in the fucking NFL. He's obviously athletic.
You just said Sileo. They drafted two athletic linebackers. So, in your opinion, he's not as athletic as them.
He's not.
Okay. I'll try to figure out why he's not on the
Do
team.
you think he was?
Yet to be determined.
Okay. It's not yet to be determined.
Okay.
Jacoby Dean couldn't run in coverage like Jahad Campbell. Jahad Campbell is a 6'8" wingspan, dude.
Okay. Then why did Vic put him on the bench?
It's a good question. Last year, he felt like Jacoby was better for the run and what they needed to do.
And would we not agree that Vic Fangio kind of knows linebackers?
Yeah, he does.
Okay. So my point about Mekhi and what I said about Mekhi Lemon is this. Mekhi might be a fine ball player, but in 4 months, he's been in the tub the entire time. Am I right?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't know if he's been in the tub. He's had a soft tissue issue. He's had a hammy.
Oh, okay.
Which lingers.
Yeah,
which lingers.
Was he at practice today?
He was out there. He didn't practice.
Oh. Woo, boy. Hey, I'll tell you something. Let's just do here. I'm not telling you on August 7th this guy's a stiff. But I'm just saying right now, from what I've seen so far of this guy, I've seen very little of this guy. And that can't be good. It can't be.
I love how you say, like, on one breath, you're like, I'm not indicting the career. And then you just go off the rails.
I'm indicting the moment.
I don't think he's going to be a big contributor this year. I said it already on this segment.
Okay.
Which is an unfortunate start to his career. But I'm hopeful that he can ascend and rise like a phoenix.
And it's not like he's sitting behind A.J. Brown or anything, too. He's sitting behind Elijah Moore.
No, he's not. He's not even behind him. He's in front of him.
He's behind Darius Cooper. I'll tell you what. I think you got to hold on for a second. Check this out. If your boy Darius Cooper turns out to be what you think he's going to be, like maybe a smaller version of a Tyreek Hill, that washes that shit. Because you know what we're on the cusp of right now this year? If Hunt has 12 or 13 sacks, hey, Nolan, I'll see you in New York with the Jets. Yeah. And that covers that. Do you know that Melodic?
So you don't think Nolan will be here?
No.
I don't know if I do.
How about this? Do you realize Melodic covers the Andre Dillard disaster? He covers that.
Well,
because you got to, or you.
That's part of drafting. I mean,
dude, when you like this, do you think that this covered the Washington Commanders? They draft RG3 in the first pick, and they went in the 5th round, and they got Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I know.
Because they hedged their bets, right? That's hedging your bets.
There's also downsides to hedging your bets.
Dude, I'm going to tell you your greatest take.
I got a lot of great takes.
Not really. But
we'll be here all day.
Hey, listen.
We'll be here all fucking day.
I'll tell you what. I can't wait to start ringing them up this year. But, hey, we're here on August 6th. I'll say this to you. You know what your best one is? The 49ers are now feeling the ramifications of Trey Lance.
That's not my best take. That's an insult to call that my best take.
Because right now, 3 number ones, they missed on.
Yeah, they're old heads. They got a lot of old people on their team.
It's an older team right now.
Yeah.
And they weren't able to really recoup that team with those high-end picks. Okay? Not like Howie, dude. Oh, one thing, too. One of the things I love showing here. So I heard John say, you know what, man? You don't really have to have Lemon on the field in his first year and starting. So let me take a look at the Eagles and what they've done. Jahad Campbell, he opened the season starting, and so did Makuba last year.
Makuba looks great in camp. What a positive sign. Another good pick by Howie, it looks like.
Yeah, and he started the season last year, too.
Well, he got hurt. Remember Sidney Brown?
Yeah.
Goofy-ass Sidney Brown. Fucking
Quinnen Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, they started. Jalen Carter. I don't believe he started right away. I think he came in and became a starter. let's see here. Jordan Davis wasn't a starter. Cam wasn't. Devontae was. Landon was. But
was Landon the starter first year?
I think so. Let me see. Let me go back and look.
I don't know if he was. Was he?
Let me see if he was. Landon, how many games? That guy's played already 80 ball
Look
games.
at Silent Anarchy. If a negative take was buried in the Mariana Trench, Sills would find it.
Well, your offense has been negative conversation so far. Your defense, if you notice, like I said, when you don't hear me talking about it, you know it's good.
Oh, look, here's a guy with some common sense. Part of rookie starting has a lot to do with who's ahead of them. Jay Olds. It's amazing that needs.
You're right, Jay Olds. You got Elijah Moore ahead of Mekhi Lemon. That's who you have ahead of Mekhi Lemon. Let's put that in
the Wicks. He's chopped liver.
I don't know. I know he was a number 4 receiver in Green Bay last year. I don't know. I don't know who he is.
How many? They got a lot of first-round receivers over there, don't they?
I think the kid from North Dakota State,
Christian Watson.
Yeah, Christian Watson. I think they, and
Just
I
him?
think, and the kid from Missouri, right? Am I right when I say that?
Calling you Sileo, Dan McMullen. I'm like you're putting me to sleep today.
That offense is putting me to sleep. That's for fucking sure. I'll tell you what, too. Hey, man, I'll tell you what. I love Mekhi Lemon. He should get a sponsorship on being in the bathtub.
Dude, he hasn't been in the tub. The guy's got a hammy. I do think it's a problem.
I mean, dude.
Jaden Reed, was he a first rounder?
No.
Matthew Golden,
I believe he was.
Tell me Jaden Reed was a first rounder as well. Second rounder.
What school?
Michigan State.
Because they
2023. So Christian Watson in 22, he was second round. Pick 34, so third pick of the second round. Jaden Reed's a second rounder, and Matthew Golden's a first rounder.
Do you know that's the first wide receiver the Packers have taken in the first round in 30 years?
Yeah, is he going to be good?
I don't know. I mean, they don't really have like tough. Then they gave somebody enormous money up there too.
Jordan Love is not ass. Jordan Love's actually pretty decent.
Whoa, man. So, hey, you ask a question. Dude, I'll tell you. People get their panties in a bind when you do this. Mekhi Lemon and Eli Stowers in the first week and a half of camp have been disappointing. And people lose their school over it. Why?
Well, they have been.
Yeah.
They have been. I agree with that.
How much impact do you think that this offense in the first half of the season has on the defense?
It's a good question. I mean, they have to perform better. I think they have to get rid of the 3 and outs. I mean, it's very hard for a defense to be good when they trot back, they get a sip of water, and they're back out on the field in the very next play.
Aggravating,
right. I mean, so I think the offense has to help them out a little bit here. Doesn't mean they have to become world beaters, but they have to help them out. They have to sustain some drives. They have to have some consistency. You know what I'd like to see from Jalen this year is, if you guys remember early in Jalen Hurts' career, he used to kill teams on 3rd and long. Kill them. Felt like they had him dead to rights, and he would just figure out a way to get a first down. I don't care if it's by hook or by crook, by arm or by leg. I don't care. Jalen Hurts needs to get some first downs this year, and that should help the defense out. But I think the defense will be carrying more of the weight in the first half of the season than the offense, and probably the full year, but definitely for the first half.
Are you expecting more runs in the first month of the season or more balance?
Balance. I think balance.
You know the risk-averse stuff you're talking about? If you're going balance, Zander, that means the ball has more opportunity to hit the ground if you're going to.
Oh.
And that, hang on.
We got to live with this stuff, though, dude. Like, that's football.
Okay, I got it. Well, your identity, though, every year you start the season is, I'm getting out. You even did it a year ago.
Yeah, but
You
see,
ran-
to me, it's easier to go backwards than to add. Like, it's easier to start by doing all of it and then go back later in the year to more running the
you
football
mean
than to
going?
start.
Yeah, but Zander, going back to what gave you success.
Yeah, but it's a different personnel group now, dude. This offensive line is not what they were in 24. The only thing they are the same as they were in 24 is the names. That's it. They're not the same players. They don't have the same health. They don't have the same skill sets.
Older.
Older. I mean,
They don't
there's
have the
nothing
same
about them
coaches.
is the same.
They don't have the same coaches. Right? They don't have the same coaches. All the receivers that you have, who will have the most catches and the most yards as your number
Devontae
2?
Smith.
No.
Oh, as the number 2. Wicks, number 2.
Wicks.
60 catches.
60 for like what, 700 yards?
Yeah, maybe somewhere in there.
700.
50 to 60, I'd say.
Okay.
I think Darius Cooper's a surprise with 40 plus.
40 plus. 550, 600,
500, yeah.
500,
Lemon, I got at 400.
400 for Lemon. About 35 catches.
I hope.
30. Let's go 30.
30.
Okay.
Now,
Got
35. That's 2 a game.
35. Okay.
Come on.
So, and for Devontae, you got about what, 1,200? Sound right?
Yeah, 12 to 13.
1,200 and like what, 90 catches?
Yep, 12 to, yeah, maybe 30. Yeah, that's good. 1250.
Let me see here. 12, 4, that's 16, and then 12, that's 28. And I'll get the Goddard here. That's 10, that's 100, then 35, that's 135, that's 90. Because Hurts floats at around 304 incompletions a year and about 32.25 in yards per game over 17 games. So that's 2,800 yards. So you're assuming that Goddard's probably going to come in at around 650, somewhere like that.
600, yeah.
600.
And then maybe a couple hundred to Saquon or the backs.
Well, there's your numbers.
Yeah, 37. I think it's 3,600 yards for Hurts this year.
And what do you got Goddard at catches? Like maybe
I don't know. I'd have to look at his career. Yeah, somewhere around there, maybe.
Yeah, 60. Yeah, that's 285. And like you said, the other 25 are going to come in at they're going to come in at the running backs. So yeah, there's your numbers. 750, 500, 400. It'd be the first time that you've had wide receivers, though, outside of the first 2 guys, where your third guy was over 235 yards. I mean, that means you're elevating the third wide. You should. You're elevating the third wide receiver, right? Because that's spreading the ball around. Where you're going to improve the passing game, Zander, is with 2 and with 3, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
Because Smith's getting his numbers.
Smith's going to get his numbers because he's good.
Right. Okay.
Look at this super chat. DQ says, what was Lemon's vertical at the combine? I want to make sure he can even make it into the ice dog.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what.
Wait, you want to laugh, DQ? Mekhi Lemon did not record a vertical jump measurement at the 2026 NFL Combine. It was not tested.
Did he do a 40?
Yes, 40 was 4.46.
That's great. That's a great 40. For a guy who does his damage across the middle of the field, that's pretty good. But he's a little dude, right?
Yeah, what is he, 5'11"?
Yeah. Well, yeah, so he's going to be your seam guy.
Well, Jalen Hurts is apparently ripping the ball down the seam today.
That's good to hear.
That's great to hear.
I've heard him.
That's what I want.
Actually heard the last 3 days he's been throwing across the middle of the field. I heard.
Yeah, and you know what else we heard?
He threw a touchdown pass the other day too. Did he not across the middle of the field?
Yeah, but forget the touchdown pass. I care more about the other stuff. There was a report that he threw an interception to Quinyon Mitchell, and it was Elijah Moore. And later in the camp, they figured out that Elijah Moore ran the wrong route, which is why they were so excited when they connected on the next play, because Elijah Moore corrected what he did wrong. And the thing I love about that, I think Underdog pointed out in the chat, was Hurts is throwing the spots. Hurts has struggled with that in his career. He wants to see the guy open. And in this offense, you're going to have to throw the ball to spots.
Are they moving Hurts around in the pocket for him to be able to
I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I thought that was a positive thing, because you're going to need, if Elijah Moore was supposed to break out and Hurts put the ball out there and then he didn't break out in the pick, I'll live with the pick. That's a miscommunication.
Will you do me a favor tonight with John? Ask John tonight if Hurts looks different in the pocket with his footwork. I'd like to know, if they're creating passing lanes back there by sliding the pocket to the left or right, depending on what the hash is, because Zander, you know how to get people open? It's a breeze technique. If you're a short dude, you know what they do? You don't go vertical, you go lateral. You move like this, and you move your head and you move your body to create passing lanes. I want to know if Roethlisberger did this exceptionally well. He wasn't a vertical guy. He would move around in the pockets.
And then
find
the throwing lane. It's like Aaron Rodgers, dude. Aaron Rodgers was so good at that.
Right. I'd like to know if they're working on his feet like that, because a true passer is in the feet, not the arm.
Well, good point. Fundamentals have to come along here.
Yeah. Do you think he's good fundamentally?
I don't think it's been a strong suit for him, but I think he can develop and get better at him. Let's go to these supers, dude. We got a lot of them.
Got it.
All right, ready?
Yep.
DQ, thanks for your super. Let's go to Chosen One John. Says, seeing Larry Fitzgerald brought back memories.
Great player. Too bad he played for the Cardinals. I love the fact he played in one uniform his entire career. His father's a legendary columnist. I bet you John knows him well. He was up there for the Minneapolis newspaper, and I'll tell you, man, what a great football player. He was great at Pitt. He was dude, he killed Miami when he was at Pitt. Just a great player, and deservedly so, being a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, one of the best. Here's the Phillies ace. Since September is a Liars Month, what would you hope to take from it? Because if it goes well, you will scream Liars Month. Will that be the same if bad?
It's always Liars Month. It's got nothing to do with you're bad or you're good. If you get out of the gate bad, you're kind of expecting it to be a little bit limpy coming out of the gate, right? And you're hoping to pick it up in October.
Yeah, they were also 4-0 in September last year. Didn't mean shit, ace.
Bucks were 6-2, right? Out of the gate.
Yeah,
they were then they fell apart.
Alfredo says, Hurts did in 23 what Dak couldn't do last year with a shitty defense, which is still take us to the playoffs. Alfredo, I appreciate your point, but I'm not going to sit here and celebrate second-place trophies with you, dude. I mean, who cares? Mr. Hill says, Howie said this is his favorite time of the year. The bat phone is on, and he will take all calls to improve his team. He said more moves will be made. What positions does he need to invest in?
I think it's depth.
I do too.
I just keep adding good
football. Line insurance, maybe.
Hey, dude, Jimmy always said this. He's always trying to improve, Zander, the bottom 10 players, not the top 10. You're trying to get your bottom of your roster better. You're only as good as the weakest link on your roster. He was always looking to improve the bottom guys.
Look at Alfredo, he's mad at me. Alfredo, we don't sit here and act like Cowboy fans, dude. You're like all good. Well, we made the playoffs that one year. Nobody gives a crap, dude. Nobody gives a crap about that.
Zander, get this. Mike
it is a credit to Hurts, though, for going to the playoffs with that crap.
Wait, get this. So one day after a rugby game, they gave all the girls medals for being in the thing. My daughter looked me right in the face and went like this. Hey, Dad, was a trash can right under it. She dropped it in there. She goes, I don't take participation medals. I looked at her and I almost started crying.
Sounds like a Sileo right there.
I love you.
Here's Kimberly. Beck wasn't a stiff last night. LOL checkdowns. Yeah, Beck looked good last night.
Beck looked good last night, man.
But it is the Hall of Fame game. But still, you can only play who's in front of you.
That's right.
Jada Legend says, it's very realistic for Hurts to have an MVP season, 27 tutties, 3,500 yards, while Barkley runs for 1,200. Hurts had 25 tutties last year. Yeah, I think he can do 27 tutties, 3,500. To
Yeah,
me,
was
it's
that-
not about I mean, we're way too enamored with what the numbers say. I think the actual output, the efficiency, and all of those different things. Jay, are you going to throw for 3,500 yards but lead the league in 3-and-outs? I don't think that's going to be very good. He threw for what, 3,300 last year?
wait.
So I think they have to clean up some of the other stuff before I worry about how many yards is actually on the stat sheet. I don't care about that.
You had 2 1,000-yard receivers last year and a 1,200-yard back, and you were number 1 in 3-and-outs.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean.
Got you
Clean
nothing.
up the other stuff. Don't worry about the stats, Jay. But I do agree that with what you said there, he could. Kyle said, this might sound crazy. You think Goddard has more yards than he has had in past years with Mannion wanting to go to the middle?
Maybe. The only reason I find that kind of hard to believe, there's a guy who's been cutting his pay the last 3 years. Now you're going to go to him? All right. I mean,
he likes Philly. I mean, I don't know why else.
I get it. I mean,
or nobody else wanted them.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think if he went out
Dude,
there,
he was a free agent. Remember, it didn't break till like 2 weeks into free agency.
Yeah, but he probably
think if his phone rang for $12 million, he'd pick it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It didn't.
You know what? Probably somebody matched the offer. Goes, I'll give you 8, and then he goes, why would I go to Tennessee?
Exactly.
I'm not going to Tennessee for the same number.
Yeah. All right, good stuff, Sills. I'm looking forward to hearing Mike Gill. We'll have a full night show tonight, 6 to 8.
Ask him about that the defeat tonight for me if you can.
I will. Prince said he asked him it yesterday. I don't know. I might have been in La La Land. Who knows? Might have been a space cadet at that point. But
the Roma shirt is kicking ass, my friend. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. All right, brother. I'll catch you later. All right.
Got you, dude. Appreciate you, man. By the way, thank you, man. We will see you again. Don't forget, we'll see Zander on Monday. But don't forget also, we will, without a doubt, have Bird 365. That'll be right after the program tonight. Question for Zills. You need a game time drive in a Super Bowl game. You'd rather have Dak or Jalen leading your team? I would rather have Jalen leading my team. Dak, again, Dak has not shown me here, and this is who he is. He's been very unimpressive in the second season. He's been exceptionally impressive in the regular season. Well, again, when you look at Ted Williams' numbers in the postseason, and you look at Ted Williams during the regular season, now remember, you had to run into the Yankees back in the day and didn't have wild cards and didn't have ALCSs and such. Or look at Mike Trout. Mike Trout can't hit his body weight, and he's only been there once. So again, people step up in the postseason. Madison Bumgarner. Dude, Madison Bumgarner or Clayton Kershaw, who would you rather have if you had to win a 9-inning game? I'm taking Madison Bumgarner because Madison Bumgarner is a closer. Take a look at his numbers. Or I'm taking Curt Schilling. Curt Schilling's 12-5 in the postseason. World Series MVP. NLCS MVP. I mean, those are big game pictures. Dave Stewart. You want guys who show up. All right. Speaking of showing up, he is our friend. We're going to talk NFL today with him, man. We're going to go around the league. He is the man that the Joker wishes he had. The same hair. And without a doubt, Jack Nicholson, when he was playing the Joker, said, I'm going to pattern my hair after this man right here. Mike North joins us, and here he is, Mr. Chicago. He joins us right now.
There it is, baby. Get it green, put it up there. Look at me, put the makeup on. I'm ready to go. Here's Johnny. What's going on, my friend?
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. I can't complain. We got 2 Chicago teams going at it pretty good in baseball right now. Big Sox against Cleveland, and then we got the Cubs, going, and things are going great. And the Bears are, everybody's hoping and praying. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, I don't know what's going on with StreamYard, but it's been really bad.
Echoey?
Yeah, that's why I'm using my headphones here, too, because StreamYard has been – it's been –
I might have to get off it. Can we handle it this week?
Yeah, go ahead. Leave and come back. Can you do that?
Try it again, though, but I mean,
I need
I
your
got to go
headphones.
through the same thing again now.
Okay, we need because it's too much echo again. It's
All right, I don't want you to go through that. We'll see
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
happens.
Let's see.
I'm praying. I'm going to pray.
Yeah, me too. Let's see if we can do this again here because last week we did it too, and it was not very cool. But again, hopefully this ends up taking care of it here. Sills, Jalen has been working on his footwork. He was asked what the difference in the playing under center, and he said his footwork. That's all he's been working on. That's actually great news. Bill Walsh told me many times, if you're going to have really a great quarterback, he's got to have great footwork. I wouldn't bring in Hurts. He is old, coming off injury, and he's never a good blocker to begin with. Seals in North, let's go. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you. Hopefully we get that fixed. Defense doesn't make Dak. Defense doesn't make Dak. Dak make bad decisions, not a clutch or smart player. That clutch player thing, I don't think you can dismiss it. Certain guys play in great moments. No one ever has said on our network that Hurts hasn't showed up. No one. Let's see here. Fantastic. We appreciate it. Hopefully we're able to fix that there and we get that resolved there with the echo. Disagree with you all. Dak scored 24 unanswered on the Eagles' top 5 defense. Coyote, I don't think anybody's talking about Dak Prescott during a regular season. I think they're talking about him in non-regular moments, like the postseason. Dude, if you look at Dak Prescott in Dallas Cowboy history, he's going to have every record on the planet except for one. You know what that is? He's not going to be a postseason guy. All right, let's see if we can fix this here, and hopefully we get this resolved here. Let's see if we bring our boy.
I really don't want to mess with my headphones right now because I think if I plug them out, take them out of the jack and put them here because I got them all hooked up to my radio station.
Okay.
At ESPN 1000.
All right, so what I'll do is I'll keep my questions short here instead.
Yeah, so it does it still echo?
Yeah, here we go. Okay. Mike,
how about if I stand back?
I think it's me because something's going on
How's
here.
it going now, Jimmy?
How's it going? Wait a second here. Mike, your top 3 NFC teams.
Oh, my top 3 teams or my top 3 favorites, the ones I see?
Your top 3 NFC teams.
I got to go with Philadelphia.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Rams. And I'm going to take an upset. I'm going to go, and this is going to shock people, but I've been doing my research, and you know what happens when that happens. America, everybody gets around the radio. Sits around, at Dad's feet, gets a log on the fire. I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers.
Why the Packers?
I've been looking at the schedule. I've been looking at who's on their team. They don't have the big names like they used to have, like Clay Matthews, or even before that, the Nitschkes. They don't have the quarterbacks like Bart Starr and Brett Favre and Rodgers. I think they're on a mission. I don't think they like the way they lost to the Bears last year. The way that the Bears sort of rubbed it in. I think that their head coach is still a top 5 head coach, in my opinion. He was off his game a little last year. He's allowed that. Nobody does more with less talent, in my opinion, than he does. So I'm going to take Green Bay as 3.
Your top 3 NFL quarterbacks.
As far as field generalship or statistical.
3 guys you like, Mike.
Jalen Hurts, number 1. No doubt about it. I love Jalen Hurts. I'll tell you, I like Dak Prescott. He's as good as it gets. But I heard you say exactly what he is. So I can say I like him. Because I do. I love his regular season game, but he comes up short. Peyton Manning came up short in a lot of games also. So I understand that. And then I think the last guy I would put up there, he's just gets the job done. I know they're going to underestimate him, Brock Purdy. I like Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy, okay.
Yeah, I like Brock Purdy. Because
Mike, your top three.
He hasn't done anything wrong to me that makes me. He gets all the criticism that he gets. That's all.
Mike, I made this comment about Brock Purdy. I think he's one of the best draft choices in the last 25 years.
No doubt.
You tell me another guy that's a seventh-round draft choice that's taken a team to a Super Bowl and won the amount of games that he's won. It's like unheard of that you're able to do that.
And with different players on offense every year. Everybody used to say, well, he's got Debo and he's got McCaffrey. But, they're here. They've been injured at times, everything else. He was hurt last year and he bounces back. I just like his clutch gene. And you know what? Don't be surprised if they're not standing at the end. He goes down, they're in trouble.
Mike North, Sayers or Peyton?
Gail Sayers asked me the question. We did a show together. I did a show with both guys. I did it with Walter on Tuesdays until he died, after his retirement, and then he died. Then I got Sayers, and he and I did a show. And Sayers asked me or Peyton. I said, if I need one game, it's you, automatic. I need to win one game, automatic. But if I need the season, it's Walter Payton. He said, that sounds good. Sounds right.
Here's my take, Mike. Yeah. Here's my take on that. If I wanted to sit in front of a television set,
yes,
and have the wow factor for about 3 hours, I'm going to sit there and go, give me 40 any day.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm with you. And if you want to see another guy who will break 6 tackles, and just keep churning, and knowing his first 4 years, he was getting the ball. I mean, look at the amount of carries. If you look up, I think Walter Payton's first 4 seasons of carries, it's astounding. So 2 different backs. Gale Sayers was unbelievable. That's all I'm going to say, folks. And on mud, on sleet, snow, you pay the toll. He made you pay. But Payton, he was a guy that was relentless. You took 2 to 3 guys to tackle him. And like I said, he had quarterbacks like Bob Avellini, guys that just really couldn't play the position. And he churned out yardage after yard after yard. I still think he's the greatest all-around back who ever played.
How about this, Mike? I'm going to ask you about your city, and then I'm going to ask you about Philadelphia.
I love when you ask me about geography.
Here we go, man. I mean, if somebody asked me this the other day, who's the greatest athlete ever to play, because LeBron's now in Philadelphia, and they go, who's the greatest athlete to ever play in Philadelphia? I think you'd probably say Wilt. That's for me. It's probably Wilt Chamberlain, who's been that guy, who's played in that city. You can make great arguments for Bednarik, Reggie White, all those guys, Mike Schmidt, okay? But I'd probably say Wilt.
I would have to go with you on that.
In Chicago, who is more revered? Peyton, Butkus, or MJ?
In my world, it would be Butkus. But I think that'd be a loser. But I was of that age. It's Walter. It's Walter Payton.
Over Michael Jordan.
Well, not over Michael. Nobody's over Michael. It's a different type of situation here. Michael Jordan is a national, even though Chicago athlete. He's more like a national athlete. But the one thing they all have in common, they're all terrific guys. That's the one thing they all had in common. It's got to be Jordan. It's got to be Peyton, and then Butkus.
Mike, your 3 favorite NFL coaches, who are they?
That are dead, alive, still percolating?
In the game today.
Well, I love Ben Johnson. I love what he did last year. There's no 2 ways about it. I love Jim Harbaugh. I'm not big on what happened the other day. Look. Keep the girlfriend on the sidelines. You don't need to be. It's family day. Okay, I understand. You don't roll around the lawn. with each other. Okay, you're the quarterback of the football team. So I was.
So you don't like the Hollywood thing going on there with Justin
I
Herbert.
just thought, okay, she's pretty and everything. My wife was a doll too. Okay, number one in her parish, in my opinion. We could play all night long, like Lionel Richie. Okay, but I understand. But I just thought, hey, what a little. She's stroking his hair and all this crap. Okay, there's things you do at home. There's things you do by the car. There's things you do in the parking lot. There's things you do when you're walking in the park. There's things you do when you're maybe swimming together. You don't twirl the hair on Family Day. You don't twirl the guy's hair on Family Day. That's all.
Yeah, and it's on a football field too. You know,
it was right. I mean, you're sitting there, okay. All right, forget about it. I mean, she's, oh, here's my dream come true. Quit it. We're trying to win something, and then this guy's 0-3 in the playoffs. Now, I'm not going to blame her.
So wait, you got a problem with Madison Bear being on the sidelines?
Not on the sidelines. Okay.
At practice.
All right. Only my dog is allowed on the field if he sees me. Okay. No human beings. Don't go running out. Even the golf guys. Wait till I get off the green. Yeah. Yippee! Yeah, you know what I mean? Yippee-yi-yo. We're going to have a nice little house and everything.
It looked
really
it looked really weird. It looked really weird.
Wait till he's 1-4, honey, and you'll see if you're twirling the hair. We'll see what happens then. Because I was surprised but you know what? Jimmy's loose too. Jimmy, I've hung out with Jim Harbaugh, good guy. So I like Harbaugh, even though I like Big Ben, which is great because the last coach I really loved and liked was Ditka. So it's been a long leap. A long leap. And then Lombardi. Although he's dead and everything, I'll probably go with my third guy. The guy from the Rams is a terrific coach.
Sean McVay.
Yeah, terrific coach.
What'd you make of the Bears signing Darnell Wright to one of the richest contracts in the NFL?
Look, if that's the going rate, good for him. They need to protect the quarterback. He seems to have done a good job. I'm more concerned about the Bears secondary. We lost a total of 19 interceptions out of the secondary. Now, I explained on this show and others last week. Sure, individually, they had 8 interceptions, 5, 3, 2. But as a group, they were good. As a unit, they were good. And they just let them go. And they all got 1-year deals. So now you got to replace those interceptions. Are you going to be number 1 in turnovers like you were last year? I don't think so. So, that's the situation we got. That's a bad situation. Period. End of story. I think the Bears got 31-30 games, 28-26 games like that.
Aaron Rodgers is now back with Mike McCarthy. He has been dog crap since he left Mike McCarthy, and now he's got him back in Pittsburgh. Are you expecting this to be a good year or a down year for both men?
I find myself, because I've always thought Mike McCarthy is so underrated as a head football coach. My God, he's at Dallas. He wins 12 games. It ain't good enough, Like, excuse me, you know what I mean? So and the other day, Rodgers took off on Dr. Fauci, and I sort of like that. So they're sort of becoming my favorites, the two guys. I sort of like them. I don't want to see, look, the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the former head coach, I guess, was on TV last night.
Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, Tomlin and Brian Kelly, 2 of the worst TV hires of recent vintage, are going to be on TV this year. He didn't have time ever for the media. He's very, very soft-spoken. I don't want to see him on TV. I don't care what Mike Tomlin has to say. I really don't. That's why I know it's change the channel. Well, I don't. I just put it on mute. Okay? Or is it mute? I put it on mute. And that's it. But I just find it amazing. Every time a coach gets fired, like I want to watch Brian Kelly, like I care about what these guys have to say, it's ridiculous.
Mike, what's the difference between and tell me if you agree with this. Here is the difference between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. And I know what you're going to say. Rings, right? Okay.
Rings. Yeah, well,
okay.
That
Well, do you agree? Mahomes has a better coach than Allen, correct?
Yeah, I thought the last coach did a decent job. I think that that Buffalo's gone as far as they got more pressure on them this year to perform, and I'm seeing where the total is like 11. I haven't seen anybody pick Buffalo for under 10 or less wins. So, is it out of the realm that there could, one, be an injury, or two, they have an off year with the new coach? Because everybody is anointing them already. And I'll tell you right now, Josh Allen, to me, has still a lot to prove.
See, and Mike, I throw this at people here. Mahomes has had a better coach, a better owner, and a better GM. I mean, Allen is not. Because we go back and forth on this one here about organizations. Mike, the Bulls won the championship because of Krause and Reinsdorf.
I agree with that, and Jordan, of course.
And Jordan, of course. But
gotta have the superstar there.
Yeah, but they had him, and for 7 years they didn't win.
Right, I get you, and I think that's one of the things. That's why Jerry Krause deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But I will also say this: Mahomes was more of a surprise. Josh Allen, though, has been a guy that is the two of them. It's like when Brooklyn played the Yankees. Everybody knew the Yankees were better because they went head-to-head. So Josh Allen has to figure it out. He's trying to figure out how to win the whole ball of wax. I just don't know if the new head coach, the new situation, was the thing to do. I'm going to call. I still don't understand the whole thing. I don't get it. It was like they named him a scapegoat. And who's the new head coach in the Buffalo Bills now? What's his name?
It's Joe Brady.
Yeah. I don't. It's going to be tough. And I'm not sure Josh Allen has as good a year. We'll see what happens. Because here's another thing. He's been relatively healthy. If he
doesn't miss games. He doesn't miss games.
If he misses games, they're done. They're finished. That's it.
Yep.
Period.
Mike, Fox Sports said that Jalen Hurts is under the most pressure of any quarterback and any player in the league this year. Do you agree?
I disagree. I think Caleb Williams is.
Why Caleb Williams?
Well, last in passing percentage last year at 58%, but clutch in quarterback. They win 11 games. This year they're only supposed to win, according to Vegas, 9.5 over under. So that's less games. He's expected to pass for less yards with this total this year. I think 35-40 when he passed for over 3,600. So are we going to see a slippage in his game? And if the Bears don't finish and into the playoffs, what happens? Their defense, to me, is very suspect right now. So is Caleb Williams going to still be better than he was last year? I think hopefully percentage-wise, but somebody once told me you can't teach accuracy in an NFL quarterback. They either got it or they don't. He says, forget about their arm strength and everything else. If they can't throw a 10-yard out where it's supposed to, right in the tight window, they won't last. That's the way it is. So that's what I'm looking for. But I'm not going to. I think Jalen Hurts, I saw today, the total's like 11 and a half. They're going over that. I think they're going to go over that total. I think Philadelphia's got a nice quiet camp going. They got rid of Big Mouth. I see he's making statements again about the cornerbacks of New England. He's already talking about the other players and everything else, while Barkley and Hurts and these other guys are just going about their business, which I like. So I think they got a good shot to get the over in wins this year.
Mike, do you think Chicago was a one-year wonder, or is this something that they're building?
If you're a one-year wonder, are you really building something? So in other words, they could have an off year, but still be building something. I still hope they make the playoffs.
Like that Rex Grossman team was the.
Oh no, they're not there. We had a great defense. We don't have a great defense. Uh they are going to have a tough time making the playoffs this year. Their defense is what. There's nobody. There's no Dan Hamptons. There's no Steve McMichaels. We just lost Kobe Bryant at safety. We signed Jack Sanborn and Devin Bush at linebackers, but our defense doesn't have any teeth. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about the offense.
Mike, who wins the North?
I'm going to go to Packers.
Packers.
I'm going to go to Packers. Everybody's overlooking them, and you got now Love's got to show me what he can do now. But I don't. I would love to say the Bears, but I can't right now. And I look at their schedule. They're playing 2 Super Bowl teams this year. Their schedule's a heck of a lot harder than it was. I think they are. Look, they're either going to do it again and surprise everybody. But they were 23rd in defense and 24th in defensive points allowed when they were number 1 on takeaways. So if you don't have those takeaways, Danny, and you're 24th or 25th and something, you're in trouble. You're absolutely in trouble.
Who goes further this year in college football, Notre Dame or Miami?
Look, I hear the Miami, they're chirping again every time.
They are chirping.
Just go to Notre Dame, be quiet, just tiptoe around. I like both programs. Quiet kept.
I like Marcus Freeman a lot.
Mike. I think Notre Dame's winning the game. I got him winning by a field goal.
Mike, I like Marcus Freeman. I won't lie to you, man. I mean, I really do. He's easy to root for.
Your coach is the guy that sweats all the time.
Mario Cristobal, yeah.
Yeah, guys. I go, Jesus, what quarters did they go? The game didn't start yet. I go, the guy sweat
like in South Florida. It's 90 humidity down there.
The players aren't sweating yet. It's warm up. I mean, the guy's drenched. The guy looks like Bruce Willis, like when he met Zed. That's how he looked. You know what I mean?
Who wins the national title in your opinion this year?
Well, everybody likes Notre Dame, so I'm never going to pick.
How about Ohio State?
Anybody but Texas in that Sarkeesian. I'll tell you who won't win it. They've been promising me since I was a kid. Texas. They won't win anything. I want every SEC team to lose. I really do. I want their fan bases to cry in the mud that they live in. I really do. I just want them to weep because the PR machine's over with. The money is all equal now. Welcome to the real world now.
Did you see Signetti? Did you see Signetti, what he said about those guys that cry me on the river?
How about him laying out, too? Because he doesn't have the same team coming back, the same quarterback. But he's saying, guess what? We may be in Indiana, but Chicago, the big city's right down the street. Alabama's Birmingham. Now what? Now what you got going? That's it. Let's go.
Are you a fan of Arch Manning?
I hate to want to see the kid fail. I don't know if I like the Mannings anymore, or I can't remember if I really liked them or hated them, because they go through different stages with me, Eli and Arch. I like Eli better. I'll tell you that right now. I like him better for some reason, but I will not watch them on TV. I think that show blows. I watched it for 5 minutes once, and I go, this is what everybody's talking about? Is that where we've really gone? Where we got to watch these 2 idiots? Huh? Okay. I mean, seriously. But I have nothing against the kid. That's all.
Mike, I'll tell you what, man. Your 2 Chicago teams. I got to end it with baseball here. Your 2 Chicago teams. Are you surprised?
Yes. I am. The Cubs are a juggernaut, PCA MVP. Don't let enough with this Ohtani. Some guy goes, well, he's a pitcher. I go, I know what he does. I know he's a pitcher, too. We don't give a damn. It's been 4 months. He's pitched 85 innings. Shut the hell up. My God, enough, okay? The guy's a fat DH. He sits there now. He looks at everybody, and he hits the ball. He says hi to the kids. I know that. But PCA is my kind of player.
Mike,
You know,
I got to
I'm
end.
not-
Let me end it with this here. Is the WNBA now, has it become a reality TV show and not really a sports league anymore?
I'll tell you what. I read the other day that each team is worth $400 million. I go, if you're going to spend that kind of money, well, that's the owners talking, the NBA owners that own the teams. Okay, because if they were playing in my backyard, I'd shut the
100
drapes.
million?
I'd shut the drapes if they were in my backyard. I'd go,
Wow.
they'd go, what's going on? I go, nothing. Just unless Caitlin was there, then I'd be,
Right.
you know. I mean, they walked the runway. Like before the game, they get.
It's a reality TV show. It's nothing more, dude.
Yeah, well, you know, and I mean, some of the owners of Seattle, some rough road. You know?
Well, Mike, I said
take a
this.
look
I
at
go,
them.
hey, you want to start letting transgender people play? You know what I would do? I'd get 5 dudes, and I would play. I would turn the thing into a complete mockery.
I will fight Nancy Armour. I will fight. I will fight the top 3 that think it's okay. The girl from the lady coach from Minnesota.
Yeah, stupid.
All at once. All 3 of them. Me, I'm 73. I'll beat the crap out of all of you. You'll look up at the lights, and then we'll say who's equal now.
Oh, my
Huh?
God.
Enough. I mean, enough of this nonsense. Shit. I think it's okay to go in men's locker rooms. Are you out of your minds? And women's? How come no women want to play with the men? How come we haven't heard one of them? Huh?
You don't get it.
Caitlin Clark, you want to know what she said the other day? She'd get no points against an NBA, a top NBA. None. I've heard Serena. Andy Murray. She goes, if I played Andy Murray, I'd be lucky to win a game.
Hey, Mike.
45 nothing or whatever.
Mike.
45. I'd be lucky to. I don't know what's happened.
Mike, if I took the top kids basketball team from the city of Chicago, I would beat the number 1 WNBA team by 30.
We cleaned their house. We cleaned their house
by 30.
I mean what's wrong with everybody?
And then it's okay. I don't know how it's an issue.
They want a trans woman to play from France to play.
I know. I saw it
in the league. You know,
makes no sense.
Look, she looks like Fabio. What am I gonna do? She's as big as Fabio. For Christ's sake, she got the hair, the whole thing. Come on,
Fabio. Mike, I appreciate you. Tell the folks where they can find you.
I'll straighten out the echo, but I don't know.
We'll get it. It's all good. Mike, tell the folks where they can find you.
Hey.
We'll catch you next week, my friend.
I had a great time. Yeah, but I don't want the echo. I feel bad for you. Well, not
That's
really.
all good, man. We'll get it done. We'll get it
I tell you
fixed.
what, it goes across the airwaves. Good. You're the only guy that's suffering. I'm okay with that.
No.
Anyway, no. I'm just hold on, Dan.
Mike, I love you, man.
I love you too.
We'll catch you next week, Mike. Thank you, brother.
AM 1000. Check me out.
You got it. That is our friend Mike North there. Yes, sir. And we will get that fixed. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. We had that echo last week with him too. So, yeah, I don't know. So hopefully we're able to get that taken care of too. So, Cowboys lost to Jacoby Brissett. Dude, I hate when people start doing that. You lost to Jacoby Brissett. And what did the Eagles lose in 23 to? I think you lost to the pizza guy, didn't you? You lost to like the pizza guy. Right? So I'll ask you guys this. Think the Eagles need to make a move for an offensive skilled player? You think they need to make a move for another guy? Outside of Devontae, now, again, you got a bunch of dudes. Not yet. Okay? Yes. Let's see here. Yeah. We're making a trade for touchdown Jesus. Hey, Kyle, one of my greatest lines of all time was going into that place and kicking their ass and having a microphone stuck in my face saying, looks like touchdown Jesus. Reyes took a knee today. You played the Hurricanes. You got your head kicked in. It's so great when you played Notre Dame back in the day. They were the ultimate. They were like the Jets. They're just awful. Wicks and Cooper are having great camps. Got to let them show their worth first. Dude, really? So you think Wicks and Cooper are going to pick up for Devontae Smith and his total in a 2-hole as a collective? That's who not Hurts season is saying, correct? That Wicks and Cooper are going to pick up the water for Devontae Smith. Okay? When they've never done that. Okay. A lot of faith there, Yale. I mean, they did lose to the Panthers and Vikings, too. Here's the point. We have nobody behind Goddard that can come in, barring injury. Well, wait a minute. You drafted a guy in the second round. So that guy in the second round, if Goddard gets hurt again, which he's known to, you're pretty much in trouble there at that position, are you not? Let's see something on Goddard. How many years has Goddard missed ball games with injuries? Dallas Goedert. How many years has he missed games with injuries? So he missed one a year ago. I think they sat him for the final game. Year before that, he missed 7. Year before that, he missed 3. Year before that, he missed 5. Year before that, he missed 3. So in the last 4 years, Dallas Goedert has missed 1, 7, 3, 5. He's missed 16 ball games in the last 4 years. And Stowers is not going to give you any help? It's time to stop talking about Cooper being a UDFA. Ever heard of Antonio Brown and Puka Nacua plus many more? Antonio Brown had Ben Roethlisberger, a Hall of Fame quarterback, and Puka Nacua has Matthew Stafford, a Hall of Fame quarterback that throws the ball from the pocket. Stowers cannot even beat out Cal Katera. That's why I asked Zander, if you're going to become, that's why I asked you about the identity of the team. If the identity of the football team is going to be running the ball or is it going to be throwing the ball, who does it make sense to keep? Does it not make sense to keep Cal Katera? He's a better receiver. Or are you going to go back to being a run team if things start going south? That's a great sign. Hey, but wouldn't you want to see this? I want to see him play well you don't have to be great every day. But you want to see some consistency, don't you? They've been very inconsistent so far in a week and a half of practice. That's why, it's funny. When you ask that question, how do you think the Eagles have been in a week and a half of practice? Everyone wants to talk about like the net. Well, I want to know, how well do you think you're playing? How well do you think you're preparing for the upcoming season? How about y'all tell me what Hurts does better than Dak besides one read? I'll tell you exactly what Hurts does better than Dak. He doesn't force the game. Like when Dak got in that Green Bay game 2 years ago, dude, let the game come to you, man. Don't force the game. I don't believe that Jalen forces the football game. And he doesn't let go of the rope. And I'll tell you something else. The one thing that he does exceptional that Dak doesn't do, he doesn't turn the ball over. Dak turns the football over. Here, let me ask folks this. Here's the one thing. Coyote, would you rather have this? 3 touchdowns from Dak, 2 picks, or 1 touchdown throwing and 1 rushing and no turnovers with Jalen? I'll take the Jalen line, especially if I have to win a playoff game. 1 touchdown, no picks is stronger than 3 touchdowns and 2 turnovers. Can't have that because at the end of the day, that's why Favre didn't win multiple. That's why Favre did not win multiple Super Bowls. Favre would be 3 touchdowns and 2 picks. When he retired the all-time touchdown passer and the all-time interceptions guy. That's not going to win Super Bowls. He's a fabulous football player. But 1 touchdown and no turnovers is better than 3 touchdowns and 2 picks. That means I'm not putting my football team in bad field position and in turnover opportunities and the 3 and outs. Again, the problem with the Eagle football team a year ago, it was twofold. And it's 2 things. Your 3 and outs on defense and your 3 and outs on offense. That was the end of that team last year. Nothing more. You were poor in both. 3 and outs on offense, 3 and outs on defense. You were at the bottom of the league in 3 and outs. How in the world are you going to win playoff games when you're at the bottom of the league in those 2 statistics? You're giving the ball back and you don't keep it long. I can't argue playoff success, but consistently Dak is a better quarterback than Hurts. He's a better skilled quarterback than Hurts. Yes. Yes. But, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a better skilled player than Brady. But Brady sees the game better. The defense was fine. Bro, the defense wasn't fine on 3 and outs. That's not true. Here, you were last in the league in offense on 3 and outs. And here's where you were on defense. Your defense wasn't on 3 and outs. 3rd down defense for the Eagles a year ago. Third down defense. The Eagles were 22nd. You were 22nd in defense in 3 and outs. And you were last in the league in 3 and outs on offense. How is that good? As a combination. Dude, both, you're at the bottom of the league in both. That was the 2025 Philadelphia Eagles. They were terrible on 3rd down on both sides of the ball. Dak is 19-38 versus teams over 500. Yeah, but he's 10-5 versus you. Well, here, let's take a look at that. That's a good take. Let's see what the Eagles did a year ago against winning football teams. Let's see here. Actually, let's see what you did against losing teams a year ago. Let's see, 2025. Losing teams. You were 1-1 versus the Cowboys. Tampa Bay was a losing team. You beat them. Let's see. The Giants. You were 1-1 there. Raiders. 1. Washington. 1-1. Last year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You were 5-3 versus losing teams a year ago. That's not exceptional. It's not. And in your own division, too. 2 teams that were under 500 in your own division. You were 2-2. Actually, you were 3-3 a year ago versus losing teams in your division. Am I right, Kyle? The Eagles were 3-3 last year in the NFC East. I mean, and those teams were all losing teams. This man tells me a day after the Super Bowl, forget it. That's last year. Now we're going back last year. Well, we're going back last year because you got the same personnel coming back. Okay, fair enough. Then stop telling me about 2022. And we'll stop doing that as well. Yeah, you won the division versus teams that are all under 500 last year. Is that correct? Fair enough. Got to win who's in front of you. Meaningless stats, winning your division, playing inside your division is meaningless? Like since when? Hurts and Dak had the same interception rate, and Hurts averages 2 extra fumbles a season than Dak, but Dak is a turnover machine. Dude, Dak's problem is postseason football. Plain and simple. It's not regular season football. Compared to Eagles versus the Cowboys, he's wasted conversation. 2 Super Bowls versus missing the playoff 2 years in a row. Yeah, just like the conversation about the Eagles versus the Patriots is a lost conversation. You're right. Don't ever bring the Patriots up when conversating about postseason football. You're right. Dak doesn't like those bright lights. Once again, dude, Jerry Jones is the reason the Dallas Cowboys don't win. It's not Brian Schottenheimer. It's a little bit of Dak, but it's a lot of the organization. Jones is a terrible executive. He is a great businessman. He's a horrible football guy. Here. Remember when Sills hated to do a hate segment for who was having a better week? Hurts or AJ? Shit went downhill real quick. He's having a great camp. The best player in the Patriots camp is AJ Brown. Anybody covering that team is saying that. Eagle fans don't want to hear it, and they'll lie and make shit up. He's having a great camp. Oh, and Reyes. And your dude that you drafted in the first round's in the tub. Again today. Love you all being training clients since 5 a.m. Have a great weekend. You too, Kim. We actually are in the No, you're not. How can you be in the conversation with the Patriots? Name the teams with 2 or more Super Bowl appearances this decade. Dude. Since Bob Kraft has owned that football team, 33% of the Super Bowls go through New England. Almost half the Super Bowls go through New England. And they've had 3 different regimes. The Bledsoe, Parcells regime, the Brady and Belichick, and now the Vrabel and May. 3 different regimes. have gone to 33% of the Super Bowls. I think it's like 15. Speaking of the Pats, think if we signed Milton Williams instead of Jordan Davis, Milton Williams is a better football player, but Jordan Davis is a bigger body. I'd probably rather have the bigger body next to Jalen Carter. I'd probably take Davis because of his size. Dude, he's an enormous man. Milton, you can do more with. Yes, you can play him in all types of techniques. But Jordan Davis is, dude, you can't get away from people that large. And when they move like that, I'll tell you the best play I've ever seen Jordan Davis play is when he ran down Josh Allen, and he's 345 pounds. That's uncommon. It's completely uncommon when you got people doing stuff like that. Like, that is absolutely unheard of when you're in that conversation. It really is. All right. Folks, I love this guy, man. I look forward to it each and every single week. We're going to do some football with him. Hopefully our mics are not, and StreamYard has been everywhere with this stuff here. And we hope when we bring in our friend Philly Godfather, because we're going to talk some NFL with him. As we saw some NFL last night, it was great to see it back on TV. Here's my friend here. Obviously, don't forget to go to Amazon and make sure you get my friend. He is the legendary Philly Godfather, and he joins us now. How you doing, brother?
I'm just messing with you, Dan. I'm just I said I plead the fifth.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Having a good time. Just trying to get in shape, gearing up for football. Losing money the last couple of weeks betting baseball. But it's all part of the business, you know. Winning and losing is never linear. So when you're losing, it sucks, and when you're winning, you think you're never going to lose. But it's all part of the business.
You tell me, how much prep goes into preparing for an upcoming NFL season? When you're in your business, how much prep goes into it?
I mean, you want to gather as much information, quantitative information as possible. You look at last year, you know, maybe some of the teams were unlucky, banged up with injuries. You know, how many games were adjusted? You know, how many games did they lose because of injuries last season? And how you think they're going to perform this year. So you're looking for little predictive indicators. But it's a lot of reading. It's a tedious process, and it's a daily process. It's not like, you know, you read on Monday and Tuesday, then you don't read the rest of the week, because as information enters the market, opinions change, prices change, point spreads change, totals change. So it's an ongoing daily thing where you know, I'm not reading as much as I was. I used to read 16 hours a day. I wouldn't sleep. I mean, now it's like 8 to 10 hours a day. My kids are helping me out a lot. They've become actually better than I have at handicapping sports. They're like the cream of the crop. So I can lay off a little bit once in a while and let them do the heavy lifting. But yeah, it's a lot of work, man.
So you bring in the family into it now. So it's become, as we say in my family, it's a family business now, right?
You know, it's weird. Like I never pressured them. I had going to college, going to school, and they were doing it without even telling me. You know, they were following my footsteps, and yeah, they're you know, it's they're a lot like me, man. They're old school. They work hard. You know, they're not soft like these kids today. They try to earn as much as possible. They're looking for so many different revenue buckets. You know, my one son's opening up a coffee shop, ice cream store at one of my properties in the city, Greek food. The other one's looking to buy some more properties, and they're always, you know, they're hustlers, and I appreciate that, because a lot of the young kids today, they just sit home, you know, internet scrolling. They want to be influencers, and my kids are go-getters, and it makes me really proud. You know?
So wait a minute here. You tell me if this is true, because I know Tim Donaghy. Do you know Tim Donaghy?
Yeah, I know Timmy. I just talked to him a month ago. Yeah.
Were you involved in that thing?
I plead the fifth. I see nothing. I know nothing.
Listen. So when my show was on in Tampa in Orlando, he lives in Orlando.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Tim's all right.
Right. And so I got him on because, we were talking about, I forget, there was some sort of gambling scandal a couple years ago. And he's like, yeah. And I go, how much do you think that stuff still goes on today with the NBA referees? And he says, listen, the league will call you the night before if you're calling something too tight. They'll tell you flat out, hey, listen, make sure you're not as heavy on the fouls on Shaq going into this next game. They're not really rigging the game, but they're telling you, hey, you don't want to see O'Neal out of a playoff game. So how much do you think that stuff still goes on in the NBA?
I mean, we talked about it last week. It's called the NBA lean. They give them that extra little push if they need it. If it helps the NBA, why not?
Look at you, man. This guy's a total mafia don now, man. Bringing up somebody and something he may have known. He's like this. I know nothing. I got a bunch of friends of mine, Six Fingers Luigi, back in the city that want to talk to you there. Okay, let's go to NFL. Hey, by the way, real quick, how's the tour coming?
Doing great, man. We just signed a 6 podcast deal with a friend of mine, Steven Siddell, that did The Wolves Among Us. That podcast was about Larry Lavin and my good friend Billy Motto. If you guys remember Larry Lavin, he went to Penn University in the 70s. He was a dentist, ended up getting locked up for being one of the biggest cocaine dealers in the country. Did 22 years, came out, and they did that podcast, which led to a TV deal with Peacock, streaming network, and they start filming next month. And these are the same guys that put that deal together. They're working with me now. So we'll see what happens. But the book's kicking ass. Sales are through the roof. Book signings, every week, every 2 weeks. Probably get back to speaking at colleges in the fall when they come back. And, when this weather gets a little cooler, I might go to a couple of these prisons because it was hot last time I was at the one. I'm so blessed. And I thank God every day for this opportunity. Just to tell my story, and if I can help people and change the trajectory of where they're headed, and they can learn from my pitfalls, that's all I can do, Dan.
Let's go here, man. Top 3 NFL teams as you're prepping it up right now. You're looking and where all the information is leaning towards. I know we have to wait and get through the exhibition season and see if everybody gets through healthy when it comes to setting these rosters up. But in your opinion, your 3 top teams in the NFC are who?
NFC, I'd say the Packers, the Rams, and a coin flip between Seattle and the Birds. Probably top 3, top 4. Eagles offense scares me. And they're talking about what's his name, Dontavian Wicks being a big steal, but until he does it on the football field, it's cool. He's looking great in practice, and they got big things expected from him, but. Their offense scares me. Their defense is strong. Fangio's a beast. He's mastermind back there. And as much as we clown on Sirianni, he's been able to do it. He's been able to have this team win year in and year out, and they've gotten to 2 Super Bowls with him. So they know how to win. Offensive line scares me, top heavy with Lane Johnson. Very dependent on him not getting hurt. When he goes down, seems like everything falls apart on that offensive line. But yeah, they're probably the top 3-4 teams, and then you got teams like the Bears, who were one of the most injured teams in the NFL last season on the defensive side of football. And people are talking about, well, they were really lucky, and that's true on the offensive side. And they were the cardiac kids, but their defense didn't do them any favors last season because they were banged up. And this year they're healthy, so that could even out, projections on that team. I'm looking at teams with top 5 offensive line, defensive line, teams in the trenches. They're the teams that you really want to pay attention to. As long as they're healthy, they're hard to beat. And then obviously the quarterback, he's a great equalizer. Guys like Joe Burrow, you can have a mediocre defense, mediocre offensive line, and still get to the Super Bowl. The year they went to the Super Bowl and almost beat the Rams, well, they're a minute away from beating the Rams that year. He was sacked 70 times. So guys like that, they can overcome and mask so many inefficiencies on that offensive line. Patrick Mahomes, how is he going to do this year? That's another team you got to watch out for. I think they're like 20-1 to win the whole thing. The Chiefs. But with Andy Reid and Spags and Mahomes, and there's a lot of speed on that team this year. I don't want to say they're a sleeper, but they could surprise a lot of people. Ravens, new coach. I'm not a big fan of Lamar Jackson, even though he's had some great regular seasons. You see what happens to him in the playoffs. He chokes up. And like, I think I heard you talking about it earlier on the podcast. I was watching a little bit. Turnovers. You can't turn the ball over in the playoffs. No. And the quarterbacks that do that, they're not going to go deep. And that's the bottom line.
Are the Cowboys a smart pick or not this year?
I like them, man. I like them. Like them in the East. You get and it's all about the price. You got to remember that the Eagles might be a little bit better on the defensive side of the ball. They're a lot better, but on offensive, they're like polar opposites, really.
Yeah. Yep.
But you get 2-1 on your money. It's hard to repeat as NFC champs. Giants, I don't think they're there yet, even though they're going to surprise some people. The Commanders are a little bit of a wild card. They were banged up last season. One of the most unluckiest teams. It was them, Detroit Lions, the Bengals. If you look at luck ratio, you look at turnovers, you look at injuries. So they should be better. They're just, a little bit of a wild card. But I think the Cowboys at 2-1 on your money, they got a great shot at cashing that ticket like we did a couple of years ago.
Dude, I got to tell you, man, a lot of people are telling me to keep an eyeball out for the Bengals. It's one thing everyone knows: Joe Burrow, Chase, Higgins, all of that. Yeah. Offensive line looks maybe in camp so far a little bit better. And I see Twiz in here, and he said it, and he's right. Dexter Lawrence is torturing people in training camp right now, and they haven't had a guy in the middle of that D-line in a long time. If they can put that defense in the top 15, they don't have to be top 10. With that offense, Burrow will throw for 6,000 yards this year if they can get any kind of defense and get 3 and outs on that side. You think the Bengals are a good pick?
Yeah, I already bet them 22-1 to win the Super Bowl. I took them 2-1 to win the division. I took a plus 1050 to win the AFC conference. He's favored to have the most passing yards in the NFL if you look at the odds. He's favored to have the most touchdown passes. It's fucking Joe Burrow. Like, you put him on a team like the Rams, the Chargers, the Chiefs. You put him on the Eagles. The Eagles might win 4 Super Bowls in a row. That's how great that. I mean, he's not just my favorite quarterback in the league. It's either him or Patrick Mahomes. And I'm kind of leaning Joe Burrow more than Mahomes as the best quarterback in the NFL. And I remember back in 2000, I think it was 18 or 19, when I bet LSU at 40-1 to win the national championship because of him, because of that team. And I had him at plus 1450 to make the playoffs and plus 450 to win the SEC that year. And, earlier I think it was a couple of weeks ago, he came out in a press conference and he says, I haven't been this excited about a football team since that 2019 LSU team. So, yeah, they definitely got a shot to win the whole thing. Now, the AFC got a lot of great quarterbacks. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. With a healthy offensive line, he's dangerous with that Chargers team, with Harbaugh coaching that football team. And don't forget about the Houston Texans. I mean, who's got a better front seven than them? Who's got a better defense than them? And if C.J. Stroud can play, like he did the first year when he came out a couple of years ago, and they can get a little stronger on the offensive line, that's an extremely dangerous football team. But they, like I said, they got to secure their offensive line and give CJ some time to throw the ball, because you saw him he was running for his life in the playoffs. I mean, and I don't care who's back there. If you don't have an offensive line, it's hard to win.
Yeah, when you see a comment like this, he's like, Dexter Lawrence is killing the 31st top offensive line with the Bengals. Yeah, he also kicked the crap out of Cam Jurgens every year he's ever played. I mean, it's not like he's not torturing Cam Jurgens every time he lines up against the Eagles. That guy is a force, is Dexter Lawrence there. So do me a favor. In the AFC, if you were to put them in order, who would you put in order here as your top 3 teams in the AFC right now?
You'd have to go Bills number 1.
Bills number 1. Okay.
But honestly, I think it's a coin flip, and the odds really don't represent how close these teams are. So the Bills are 10-1 to win the Super Bowl. Chiefs are 22-1. Bengals are 20-1. I think the Texans are 18-1. Chargers are right there, 16 or 17-1. Patriots are at 16-1. I think they got the same odds as the Eagles to win it all. But I exclude the Patriots because of the Super Bowl hangover, because of some of the issues they have on their offensive line. And it's great having A.J. Brown on that football team, and they're going to be a highly explosive offense. But again, that Super Bowl hangover is real, and they got a tougher schedule. Now they're not going to surprise people this season. The Patriots. Last year they were the luckiest team in the NFL, one of the healthiest teams in the NFL. If you look at their average health score, they had a +8 or 9 average health score on a week-to-week basis over their opponents. So their opponents, they just caught every team at the right time. And even in the playoffs with the Broncos, when they lost a quarterback, and then they were exposed by the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, and they had no business, playing the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. But they got there. The ball bounced their way. They were healthy. Other teams got banged up. The Bills with that interception, that was a pass completion, or else they probably end up in the Super Bowl. So everything went their way. So I don't really think the Patriots are going to get there, but teams like the Bills, the Bengals, the Texans, the Chargers, and even the Broncos. I mean, that defense is unbelievable. I'm not high on the Bengals. The Ravens. I'm not high on the Patriots.
What about the Chiefs?
Yeah, I'm not betting against them. Last year they were banged up. He was banged up. One of the unluckiest teams. When you look at luck ratio, they lost a lot of close games late. Usually they win those close games, and last year, they weren't doing it. So
do you think the Jags do it again?
It's tough. I can't.
And remember, they're getting Travis Hunter back.
Yeah.
And he's going to be added to that. Remember, I think in the first 3-4 weeks of the season, they lost him. And now they're going to get him back, hopefully for an entire season. So that's like adding another first rounder. Remember, they traded a bunch of guys to get that kid in that room there. So you think Liam Cohen, those guys, and Trevor Lawrence, they do it again?
They got a good defense. But Trevor Lawrence, like every time he convinces me he's for real, and then he shoots blanks. So he had a good season last year. But in the playoffs, again, he underperformed. He had a lot of opportunities to win a couple of those close games, and he just couldn't come through. He's not... he's got great physical talent, and he's a pretty good quarterback, but he's not a Josh Allen. He's not a Patrick Mahomes. He's not even a Justin Herbert. He's not a Joe Burrow. He's going to have to beat those guys. And I don't think he can. I don't think, he's good enough to beat those quarterbacks. And they're the guys I'm looking to back, the teams with the better defenses. And if you got a quarterback like Joe Burrow, you can beat anybody. It don't matter how good your defense is. It don't matter how good your team is. He keeps coming. He's a gunslinger. And you give him a chance to win the game with, 45 seconds on the clock, he's going to march down the field. He's going to get to the goal line. Now, what happens then? It happens.
What do you make of the Bears? You think the Bears come back again and do it, or do you think they take a step backwards?
Yeah, that division is so tough, and they got a first place schedule this season, which is never easy. I like Caleb. When Caleb first came out, I think it was going to be a bust, and he proved me wrong. And I went on.
I'm with you. I never thought that guy was going to be anything else.
And he can look so inconsistent, throughout the game, but then he just finding lasers when it counts. So how do you bet against that kid? That kid was money when you needed him. He was so clutch. That's just I think the Packers are the cream of the crop in that division. Lions are right there. The Vikings defense is still strong. That's a tough division, man. I think the injuries are going to really dictate which of those teams rise above the other ones and win the NFC North.
Tell me the Colts. One of the toughest teams to figure out, because when Daniel Jones was healthy, I think they were 6-1.
Yeah.
And they looked, and now they just gave Jonathan Taylor a boatload of money. Man, they got a good defense, and they got a really good offensive line. Who are the Colts?
They got a shot. It's just that Texas defense is just that front seven is just, and they were banged up early in the season. What did they start at? 0-3 or 0-4, the Texans. Then they ran off like 11 wins. But they're going to be there. They could be a wild card team.
I'll say this to you about that Texans defense. I think that Texans defense in the salary cap era is arguably one of the top 5 defenses that I've seen in 25 years. Because they're young, they've got multiple positions, their corners, their edges, their linebackers, the interior defensive tackle. As a unit, they're great on every single level. Yeah. And a year ago, they gave up only 274 yards in total offense. Total defense. And it's just truly one of the best defenses I've seen in a long time.
You want a good stat?
Yeah.
Attention to how teams perform the following week after they play against that Texans defense. It's not good. It's not good, especially against the price, against the point spread. So when you play a defensive line like that,
they beat you up.
They beat that offensive line up. They beat everyone up. And the following week, you want to bet against that team. Even if they beat the Texans, they're banged up. So that's something you want to pay attention to if you're looking to handicap the NFL season.
Boy, I'll tell you something, man. I mean, I really like that football team. It comes down to Stroud, really, and what that guy can deliver here. What do you make, again, of the 49ers? 49ers, here we go again. You know, we're seeing a lot of injuries. They lose Pearsall. They sign old man relic Debo. I mean, I don't know where you're going with that. They got Debo and Mike Evans. I mean, talk about a geriatric group. Where do you look at the 49ers? I mean, where do you think they will land?
If they can stay healthy, that offense can put up a lot of points. They can score a lot. Shanahan's one of the best play callers, even though he has choked at some big moments in the playoffs with the Falcons and the 49ers. But they're a hard out. You know, with them, if they can stay healthy for the entire season, that team, they can do some damage. But again, it's a very tough division. The Seahawks lost a couple guys, but they're still going to be right there. The Rams are stacked. I mean, you're taking back 5-1 on your money to win the Super Bowl, and the next closest team is 10-1, the Bills. It tells you how good that team is. So it's a tough division. They got to stay healthy. If they can stay healthy, they'll make the playoffs. And then if you get in the playoffs, anything can happen.
Give me 3 dark horse teams.
Real dark horse or
Guy? Well, you like betting against the people.
I'll give you some real dark horse teams. Giants, Falcons. I think they got a shot to make the playoffs. AFC side. I mean, the Bengals are 22-1, but they're not really a dark horse. They got Burrow. Who else in the NFC? You got the Giants and Commanders. I mean, one of those 3 teams is going to make the playoffs. I don't know which one, but one of the 3 teams are going to make the playoffs.
Dude, I got to tell you, man, I think this is going to be one of the most interesting seasons, and I'm with you. I think Atlanta wins that division, actually. You got a lot of chaos going down right now in Tampa with Mayfield, with Vita Vea, losing Mike Evans. There's not a lot of happy campers down there, too. So, again, my friend, tell the folks where they can find you. And, again, what's coming up on the horizon for you?
Yeah. I'm actually going to be in Vegas on Tuesday. So we're out there for a little bit. Then I got to fly to L.A. for a day to do a couple shows. Book signing next week. I think we're at Zorba's. We got a bunch of stuff lined up. Expect a 6-episode podcast coming out soon, all about the book, My Life Story. If you want to go to phillybook.com, I'll send you out an autographed copy. It may take 3 to 7 business days. Go to Amazon, ship to order, get the next day. phillybook.com is my website. Amazon, obviously. Barnes & Nobles. And every Friday, I'm on the best show in the world, Dan Sileo Show, man.
Wait till you see what we got coming up in the next couple weeks here. We got some things coming up with this show, with the weekend shows.
You got the best guests too, Dan. I don't know how you do it, but there's no show out there that has the amount of talent and the amount of great guests that you have. And listen, I don't watch too many shows, but if I see you, if I'm not busy, I'm going to put you on. I'm going to watch. You're one of the best out there.
Dude, that's great. Thank you so much. It's very kind. And we love having you on. Believe me, you're one of my favorite segments of the week. My friend, I will see you next week. Thank you so much.
Good luck, guys.
You got it. That is a legendary Philly Godfather. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. By the way, real quick, we got some really great news. I'm not at liberty to say yet, but we got some great news coming up here on this show and the weekend show, my Sports Grid show. So going to want to stay tuned for that. All right. Our great friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason. It's because they win. Folks, I tell you about this great firm. I've known John and Ultima Morgan for over 25 years. When they put this company together, defending families like yours. If you've ever been hurt on the job, there is no law firm like Morgan & Morgan. Told you about the family in Pennsylvania that was initially offered $650,000. They got nearly $30 million in settlement, or the family in Florida that was initially offered $350,000. They got nearly $12 million in settlement. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/Big Sills or pound law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sill sent you.
There's a reason Detective Johnson is the gossip king.
Oh, did you hear? Jackie and Tom
are getting a divorce? Sad.
Well, I heard that Ashley
Had work done on her face? Yeah, oof.
Just like there's a reason Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. Injured? With over $25 billion recovered for our clients, there's a reason to go big.
Bathroom? Okay.
Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Oh, okay.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand.
Thank you.
We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLEX. Eagles.
Jalen doesn't have anyone anywhere near the talent of what Burrow has. For the last 4 years, he had A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And now he doesn't. And let me guess, you possibly think, 4x4, do you think that Jalen is as good as Joe Burrow? You really think he's as good a talent as Joe Burrow? Holy shit. And here's Twiz. Sills is biased. You should know this by now. It's called having an opinion. I do sports talk, guy. What the hell did you think? I mean, you think? It doesn't matter if Dexter Lawrence is following him to his plant step. Dude, Dexter Lawrence is going to kill anybody. Like, it's Jalen Carter's going to kill anybody. Jeffrey Simmons is going to kill anybody. Chris Jones. I don't care what football team you're on. These guys are the best interior defensive tackles that you have in the game today. You can make the kid Buckner, too. That guy in Carolina is pretty good. He's a good boy. What's his name? Brown? He's another one, an interior defensive lineman. Embiid or Barkley? Dude, you're kidding, right? Charles Barkley is just one of a handful of people that have got over 20,000 scoring points and over 10,000 rebounds in his career. I'm not talking about how well either throw the ball. I'm talking about the bias in reporting. Nobody says a word if Burrow overthrows receivers and he's supposed to be a master of timing. Correct. Because they look at Joe Burrow and say, Joe Burrow overthrew it. If Jalen Hurts overthrows someone, they say he's not accurate. You're right. Sills gets a compliment and still mad. I'm not mad. Yeah. Barkley 6'4". Is he? I always thought Charles was 6'3". But hey, okay. They're criticizing Burrow now. Okay. All right. Oh, they're criticizing Burrow? Well, Joe took the Cincinnati Bengals to the Super Bowl. Look, Duke Tobin's good people. Duke Tobin is a good personnel guy. The owner stinks. Dude, here's all you need to know about the Bengals. They charge players for Coca-Colas inside the facility. I'm surprised they don't charge for parking when they park to go to work every day. That's how cheap that guy is. I'm not kidding. They charge the players for Cokes. Like when you go into a facility, it's really cool. When you go, hey, dude, when you go into these facilities, these NFL facilities today compared to the past, they got gourmet chefs in these places. And this food's off the charts great. You know, I mean, it's spectacular. Like you go in there and even when I was in the league, you know what? As bad as the facilities the Bucks had, the food was exceptional. The Cowboys was over the top. The Lions that thing was great. Gourmet food everywhere. Just tremendous. The Bengals, not so much. Dude, they're talking about building an indoor facility now for Cincinnati. It'd be like the first time they have invested in like player facilities like in ever. Installing a new style offense, it's much easier against a mid defense. Let's slow down a little about Hurts and the Eagles. Oh, dude, nobody heard any of this stuff the last couple of years. And now you're installing with lesser players. It's lesser players. You think what? If you had A.J. Brown and Devontae as your wideouts, your offense would be struggling? I don't think so. Or if that's the case, you got a long way to go then this year. I just want the measurement to be the same if we're talking about timing and talk timing. Dude, Joe Burrow is the best pocket passer in pro football today. End of story. He's the best pocket passer in the game. Do you understand, original? It's okay to say, hey, look at Aikman's time. Who were the quarterbacks during Aikman's era? Let's go here. Quarterbacks during Aikman's era. QBs during Troy Aikman's era. So let's look at them. So you had NFL as a league. Here's the quarterbacks during Troy Aikman's time. John Elway, Steve Young, Brett Favre, Dan Marino. Just to name a few. Troy Aikman won 3 Super Bowls. Okay, won 3 Super Bowls. Is he better than Elway? No. Is he better than Steve Young? No. Is he better than Dan Marino? No. But Aikman won more Super Bowls during that era. That doesn't make him better. Dude, I keep telling people that number. Jim Plunkett won 2 Super Bowls and a Super Bowl MVP. Think about that. And he was a journeyman. He's a journeyman quarterback. And he's more, get this, he won the Comeback Player of the Year. He won the Rookie of the Year. He won a Super Bowl MVP. And he won 2 Super Bowls. And he's a journeyman. He's a journeyman. And yet he's on the hot seat. According to Fox. I don't know. Aikman, Favre, Young, Moon, Elway, and Marino. And you know who the lesser player was of that group? Aikman. If you were to rank them, you might go Marino, Elway, Moon, Young, Favre, and Aikman. I mean, Aikman's the last guy in that group. But then when I say, why doesn't he win anything? Because his team, but when Jalen is bad, elevate your team. Wait a minute. Again, bro, I made the point to you earlier. The difference between Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen is GM, head coach, and owner. You got a poor head coach or a lesser head coach than Andy Reid. Brett Veach has worked with Andy Reid, and they've won Super Bowls together. Brandon Beane's a bum. And Pagula is an okay owner. You've got to have the dynamic. All the great football team. Look at the Rams. Les Snead. Stan Kroenke's the best owner in pro sports in America. Do you know that? He's won a Premier League title. He has won a MLS title. He's won an NBA championship. And he's won a Super Bowl. There's no owner in American sports over the last 10 years that is more accomplished than Stan Kroenke's group. And he won an NHL championship with the Avalanche. That guy is the best across the board. This guy won a Premier League, MLS, NHL, NBA, and a Super Bowl ring, all under Kroenke Sports. And look at what they're doing now. They bring in Myles Garrett. Dude, we shall see. Guys, I appreciate it. Hey, John was out there at camp. Great news that Lane Johnson is back. Stay tuned for a special. Birds 365 will be back with you on Monday going 2 to 6. And we shall see you on the flip side.